You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know I'm lying.
Yo, 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 yo. Good, great, grand morning to y'all, man. What's poppin', what's poppin', what's poppin', man? Y'all know what time it is. We got the doctor in the house. Man, it's been a long time, it feels like, right? I only been gone, I only missed yesterday. We were live on the 10th. And then we missed yesterday. And then now we back, but it feels like I've been gone for so long, man. That's how you know we've been putting in the work. You know what I'm talking about? Don't forget to smack that like button for your boy on the early tip, man. Before we get started, though, let's start off with this roll call. We got my boy Oscar Perez in the building. You see the big red glove in the building? Let's go. We got Tech Dumb Dad in the building. You see the big purple glove in the building. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate the members, man. Appreciate the members, man. I'm so mad that my internet was out, man, because I missed the Keith Thurman fight. But I will say the blessing is that if my internet was going to be messed up, and I was going to miss a fight, I'm cool that it was that one, you know? Because it was only 3 rounds. And I watched the highlights already, you know what I'm saying? The highlights showed some of each round, so I didn't really miss too much, but still, you know, I would have liked to seen it. I was planning on watching one time, sometimes no time, part-time show up, and he did. He showed out. Before we get to that, man, let's go ahead and start off with our prayer as usual, so please join me and bow your heads if you do indulge. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for your blessings. We thank you for waking us up to see the brightness of another wonderful day, another beautiful day, Lord, to spend with beautiful, wonderful people. Please let us not take things for granted. I know sometimes it's more easily said than done, but let us just appreciate the life that we live, the time that we have, the places that we are, the people that we're surrounded by, And you know, sometimes we have expectations and aspirations and dreams and goals and things that we feel like we should have accomplished, or things or places where or points in our lives that we should be at. And we may be disappointed in ourselves, Lord, but we should take the time to also appreciate where we came from and appreciate the journey and the process, and know that no timing is better than your timing. So even if we have something set in our minds or in our hearts, not to get too discouraged, because everything will happen when it's supposed to, and there's no time like the divine's time. So we thank you for giving us another day to live, another more moments to cherish, and more time to love. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, amen, amen. We got Young Guns in the building. What's good, bro? He said, I just got my bro. Come on, bro. Drop them GTD chains, man. Come on, man. With the GTD chains, man. Hey, we got the gypsy. We got the gypsy king of obesity in that building. You know what I'm talking about, Tech? Yo, Young Guns, what's good? What's up with my camera, man? Hey, man, think not focusing, bro. What's up with that, bro? Keith Thurman, one time and no time. I love to see Keith versus Zoo in Australia. Yeah, man, he called him out, man. So we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it, man. We actually let's I would say let's start there. Nah, we ain't gonna start there, man. We gonna get there eventually. But let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. So where's my? I want to bring up the chat. Give me a second. There you go. All right, there's the chat up. So yeah, man. So I want to before we get to the to the topics of the day, the NTB topics, I want to talk about, you know, Benavidez and Bivol. You know, Benavidez. People have been talking about Benavidez and Bivol like they don't want to see Bivol and Beterbiev anymore. I'm like, man, you got to chill. You got to let this trilogy happen. And if the trilogy doesn't happen, I understand fights in the interim or whatever. But even if it's a fight in the interim, I don't think it should be Benavidez. Not that I don't want it, but just because the order of things, right? The IBF would be next, which would be Michael Eifert. I know a lot of people aren't familiar with Michael Eifert, including myself, but that's the order of things. The IBF mandatory is next. And then after that, it's the WBO mandatory and Callum Smith, you know. A lot of times, you know, now things could change in boxing, but even if that wasn't the order, I wouldn't want a fight. Anything can happen in any fight, right? Anybody can beat anybody. So there's no gimme fight really per se. But, you know, Benavidez, I think Benavidez loses to Bivol and Beterbiev, but he could possibly beat both of them. You know, Benavidez is the monster, right? The Mexican monster, literally what they call him. So he does have a chance to win. But my point is that if Beterbiev suffers a loss or Bivol suffers a loss in the interim between their trilogy, then it kind of waters it down, you know. And then not just to mention that if it's not for any belts, because if Bivol loses, he'll lose all his belts. But if he loses to somebody that's not a mandatory, and if he doesn't fight Benavidez, his WBC is called the mandatory next, which is not their turn anyway. But let's say he doesn't fight Benavidez and he vacates that belt, and then he loses all those belts, then Beterbiev and Bivol will have to go reacquire the belts for their trilogy to have as much meaning. So I think it'll be watered down. So I think the best course of action, in my personal opinion, would be the Beterbiev and Bivol trilogy. And it's a good fight. I don't really see how people aren't that happy. It was really like a shock to me to see so many people denounce the trilogy, man. I was like, whoa, that's crazy to me. I think this is the epitome of boxing, you know, two guys at the top of their game. And, you know, and plus we don't want Beterbiev to be 41, you know, because he's I said 40. he's already 40.
Damn.
You know, which is
I'm sorry.
Which 40 is not old in life, but is old in boxing, in sports, you know, athletic terms, man. So yeah, I think the trilogy should happen, man. And next up too, speaking of matches, and I think it should happen for undisputed or at least 2 or 3 belts, you know, maybe if Bivol has to vacate. But in addition to that too, speaking of other belts, you know, Tio and Barbosa are gonna fight amongst Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero and Devin Haney and Jose Carlos Ramirez, right? Alberto Puello, who just beat Sandor Martin in a very close fight. You know, he has two close fights back to back, right? His fight with Gary Anto Russell was close, and then his fight with Sandor Martin was close, but he did win. So shout out to Alberto Puello. But he's saying he wants the winner of Tio and Barbosa to unify. That'd be fire, man. I think if we could get any unification, especially at 140, I'm all for it. That'd be fire. So hopefully that happens, and I'm going for Barbosa to win, but I don't know the way he got smacked. If that smack was any indication of how the fight's gonna go, boy, Barbosa in for a long night. You know what I'm talking about? Because I will say this: I think Teofimo at his peak beats Barbosa at his peak. That's why I think, like, so this is who I'm rooting for, right? I'm rooting for Barbosa to beat Tio, Devin Haney to beat Ramirez, even though I like Ramirez too, but I'm rooting for Devin Haney. You know, I'm not a big Devin Haney fan, but I'm really rooting for him to make a comeback because I feel like the media has been doing him dirty and people have been doing him dirty, which we'll get into later. You know, so I'm rooting for Devin Haney, and I think Devin Haney will win. And I'm rooting for Rolly Romero to beat Ryan Garcia. So those are the people I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Barbosa, Devin, and Rolly to win. Who I think's gonna win though? I think Ryan Garcia is gonna beat Rolly. I think Teofimo's gonna beat Barbosa, and I do think Devin Haney's gonna beat Ramirez. So Devin Haney, the person who I think is gonna win, and the person who I'm rooting for to win is the same person. But the other two, I'm rooting for Rolly, but I think Ryan's gonna win. I'm rooting for Barbosa, but I think Teofimo's gonna win. But I think Barbosa could beat him because we don't know what version of Tio's coming in, you know. But I think both of them at their peaks, I think Tio's a better fighter. So that's who I'm going with, Tio, man. But we'll see how it goes though, man. But yeah, I'm rooting for Barbosa and that one, man. But yeah, let's bring up the NTB topics, man. Let's bring up the NTB topics. Let's see how it goes. I want the trilogy first. Take Them Dad says Arthur deserves it and Bivol owes it. Exactly, he owes it, bro. Like, bro, at the very minimum, extend the same courtesy that was extended to you, which was an immediate rematch. That's what Beterbiev did. So, and like I said, case in point, or it could be in doubt, which I think he will do it, but it could be in doubt because remember Beterbiev, I just told y'all during this interview with Beterbiev and Bivol, Beterbiev said it right to Bivol's face. He said, hey man, he said, no, if Bivol would have won, he doesn't think he would have gave him a rematch. That's what Beterbiev said, and if this trilogy doesn't happen, then Beterbiev be right. And Bivol didn't say that; he just looked down and smiled. That joke is funny, man. That joke is too funny, man. You can make it at 172 for all the belts. He said if Benavidez wins, you can make Canelo versus. I mean, yeah, I watch boxing though, man. I don't really my boxing fandom isn't based off of what I want to see, as far as hypothetical matchups. I like to see what is there, and what's there is Beterbiev and Bivol. You know, everybody's so obsessed with Canelo and Benavidez. I would like that fight to happen too, but that doesn't mean that you should skip the process or cheat somebody out of what should happen. But anyway, that's to Donnie. Let's get back to Tech. He said, but it looks like Arthur will be aged out or it won't happen at all. No rubber match after 2 fights that close is bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Like, not having a rubber match is straight BS, bro. Like, if you don't have a rubber match and the man's about to be 41, that's straight BS. I agree with you, Tech. He said a lot of fans just keep saying Benavidez is going for interim undisputed. Interim undisputed is crazy, young guys. Security's picking Barbosa up. Like, did he pick up Tank? Yeah, the way they... Bro, they scooped him up. Yo, shout out to Young Guns, man, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
My guy, Young Gunners, man. Can't stop, won't stop. And the Gunners, hey, can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller Records. Chris and Neef in the building. What's good? My boy Young Gun said, is it hard coming up with boxing topics every day? Yes, bro. You're not, bro. Hey, Young Guns, I'm not one to complain because I love what I do. This is what I chose, and I thank God that I got dope supporters like you and all the members and stuff like that to come through and hold it down for your boy. Let me achieve my dreams. But it is difficult, but it's not supposed to be easy, right? It's not supposed to be easy, right? Because if it was easy, then everybody else would do it. It's easy to critique. It's easy to complain. It's easy to judge. It's easy to talk trash, but it's not easy to do. You feel me? That's nothing. You know, I'm not talking about just this. I'm talking about anything. Whether you're going to school, whether you're going for a degree, whether you're going for a promotion at your job, whether you're going for to be the best thespian or, you know, acting job, acting gig, or you're going to make music, or you're going to be an athlete. It's not easy, man, you know, and it is. So no, it's not easy, especially at the frequency at which I do it. But at the same, because it's just a one person team. Like if I had like a team, you know what I'm saying, I had multiple people bouncing all ideas off of, then yeah, it'll be a little easier. But like I said, I'm not complaining, but that's a great question. No, it is hard, and it depends on the season, right? You know, like right now, even though we're having quite a few fights, it's kind of slow, right? Because why do you think we've been talking about Tank and Lamar Roach so much? When I say we, I'm talking about boxing as a whole, boxing media, not just me. I've been trying not to talk about the Tank and Lamar Roach stuff because I get bored. I don't like to talk about the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm not a boxer's channel. I'm a boxing channel. So what I mean by that is that unlike a lot of these channels, I'm not just a pro Tank channel or a pro Canelo channel or a pro Devin Haney channel. And no disrespect to them, but that it's a little easier that way to come up with topics because all you have to do is just talk about nonsensical BS and just make it seem like everybody is against your favorite boxer and then just have them against the world. So you could just make up a hypothetical topic, or you could make up a, I don't know, you can have a real topic sometimes, but a lot of times you can have a hypothetical topic or a fictional topic and just make it seem like, oh, well, this person's against this person. So in a way, it gets kind of hard to be creative like that, I guess. But it's kind of easy too at the same time, because you know what you're going to talk about every time, and you can just repeat yourself over and over and over again, you know? So, and that's what I try not to do, even though, you know, boxing is not that big of a sport, especially in America. So, you end up repeating yourself all the time anyway, but it's just, yeah, I try to, that's why I love covering all the boxing, because it makes it easier, because there's minimum weight, there's heavyweight, there's males, there's females, you know, so it's a lot. But yeah, sometimes it does get, especially when it's slow, it does kind of get hard. But that's a great question, Young Guns. I appreciate you, bro. Don't forget to like that, hit that like button, and like the blue hue with the graffiti on the chat walls. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, we live. Yeah, we back, Styles. We back, man. My internet was out, man. You know how it go, man. We got Tran in the building. What's good? Interim Undisputed is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Interim Undisputed is crazy. But yeah, man. So I think if we can get a unification at 140, that'd be dope, man. He said, Doc, just recruit a volunteer squad to have topic brainstorming meetings to bounce ideas around. Yo, yeah, in the Discord, I do have recommendations stuff, and sometimes, like, my boy Oscar will drop some gems on me, or Ty. So I do have some dope people that'll drop some ideas. And shout out to you too, Tech. Like, you may not know it, but when y'all be talking in the Discord, sometimes that sparks an idea in my head too, especially even if it's not a topic that I make a video about, or a topic that I talk about on the live show. It could be like a question that I have for the square up game show that we do. So yeah, I'm always looking for ideas and finding ideas, man. Yo, what's good? He said politically correct MMA says hello everyone. Thoughts on Trump anti-trans executive order? Yeah, I don't know, man. This is we're talking about boxing, bro. So you can talk about what you want though. So we talk about boxing politics. Yes, sir. We talk about boxing right now. We not talking about that, you know, which is tied into boxing and sports, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We can talk about that a little later. You feel me? But yeah, man, let's bring up the NTB topics. Once we get the free time, we can talk about that. Let's bring up the NTB topics right here at your bottom right. Let's go, man. So we have some things we want to pull up, man. Where do we want to start, chat? Where do we want to start, man? Where do we want to start? Hey, Styles, people be wild. You just come here and just say random stuff, which I love it, but yeah, you gonna start being ignored. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, so let's start off with Thurman, man. I want to start off with Thurman. Let's start off with Thurman, man. Keith celebrating like he KO'd the Crawford. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's start off with Keith Thurman. We got Keith one-time Thurman going against Brock Jarvis, man. And shout out to Keith Thurman, you know, but Keith Thurman, I'm so mad because my internet was out. I did not get to catch it live, but like I said, I did watch the highlights that fast. So it was only a 3-rounder. Well, it ended up being 3 rounds. Jarvis got cooked, right? But we expected that, right? Like I said, Jarvis is unique in the fact that, man, Brock Jarvis, I've never seen this before. I'm not saying he's the only one, but this is the first time I've seen it since I've been paying attention to boxing. This man in his last 7 fights has been at 7 different weight classes. And I'm going to keep saying that because that's crazy. I don't think people realize how crazy that is. He's been at 7 different weight classes. And I don't mean 135, then going back to 140, and then back to 135. No, he's been in 7 different weight classes spanning from 122, which is the weight class of Naoya Inoue, all the way up to 160, which is the weight class of Janibek and Limkanuli. So just off of that right there, that unique stat, I knew he ain't had no chance. I don't care if Keith Thurman ain't boxing 10 years. If it's been a whole decade, you know, Keith Thurman is a former champion and Brock Jarvis is not. And that's all I had to know, you know. I'm not trying to down Keith Thurman's accomplishment because this is his first fight in 3 years or his second fight in 5 years, half a decade. That's a long time to be inactive. However, he still has the caliber of a world-class fighter, and I just can't really get too excited that he beat a guy that's, you know, he doesn't even have a weight class that he's home to. Now, he does only have 1 loss, but that 1 loss came to Liam Paro at 140. And he just fought Keith Thurman at what weight class did he just fight Keith Thurman at? I believe they just fought at 154. I believe so. Don't quote me, though. Yeah, they just fought at 154. So guess what? That'll be, in his last 8 fights, that'll be another weight class because his last fight before Keith Thurman was at 160. Now he's just fought at 154. So it's like, bro, I think it would behoove Brock Jarvis to find a weight class to call home, bro. You don't even know what weight class you want to fight at. Ain't no way you about to beat Keith Thurman. But like I said, a shout out to Oscar. But yeah, Young Guns is crazy. That sounds crazy, right? Young Guns. It sounds crazy, bro. That's the craziest. I've been saying this for weeks. As soon as the fight was made, I was like, Brock Jarvis. I was like, hold on, I know Brock Jarvis. He fought Liam Paro. And I went back and looked at it. I said, hold on. Liam Paro fought Brock Jarvis, bro. That man's fighting anybody, bro. He's really on some gangster stuff down there in Australia. Like, how you fighting that many weight classes? But like I said, shout out to Keith Thurman. Keith one-time Thurman turned to sometime Thurman, turned to part-time Thurman, turned to no-time Thurman. I guess he's, you know, half-time Thurman right now because he came back and he won. But I got to give him half the credit for this. But at the same time, you know, what I will give him full credit for is if he does fight who he wants to call out, who he has called out. He called out Tim Tszyu. Now, I know Tim Tszyu's on a 2-fight loser streak, but he did lose to some quality opponents. You know, Sebastian Fedora is not the best, but he is still a unified champion. He took Tim Tszyu's belts, and he's a formidable fighter. I know he's coming off of a knockout to Brian Mendoza, but he's still pretty good. Like I said, he's a champion, so I got to put respect on it. And then he's an awkward fighter too. He's 6'6" at 154, which is crazy. And then Tim Tszyu lost to Bakram Murtazaliev, who's the IBF champion, undefeated. No shame in that, really. It was just a shocker, but it's not really too much shame. So if Keith Thurman can beat Tim Tszyu, if Tim Tszyu beats Joey Spencer in his next fight, then that'd be a fight that I respect. And then also Keith Thurman has been talking about wanting to fight Errol Spence. And him calling out Errol Spence, to me, is straight bullshit. The reason why I say it's BS is because those of you that know the history, man, I know a lot of times we call fighters ducks, right? And I try not to use that because I feel like there's three terms in boxing that are overused severely. That's casual. Anytime you disagree with somebody about a fighter, you're a casual. And robbery, anytime that you are rooting for a guy and that guy loses, it's a robbery. No matter how close the fight was, it's a robbery, you know, or how wide the fight was, it's a robbery. And then duck. If a fight happens that you want to happen and it doesn't happen, you don't care with the circumstances, you don't care about the hindrances or the reservations or the restrictions, excuse me, or the roadblocks. You just think that somebody's ducking. Yo, Canelo is Floyd, what's good? Young Gun, sorry, pugilism, what's good? But so what I'm saying is that yes, there are some fighters that duck, but a lot of times the term duck is overused. However, with Keith Thurman, I think it's applicable and I think it's truthful. I think that there's like 2 or 3 people that have ducked, in my opinion, really ducked other fighters, and Keith Thurman is one of them. Keith Thurman, in my opinion, he ducked the hell out of Errol Spence habitually. I think that Danny Swift Garcia ducked Terrence Crawford across 2 divisions, you know what I'm saying, habitually. And I think Anthony Joshua ducked Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. You see what I'm saying? So those 3 are, I think there's some other ones that are scattered in there too, you know, but I think those 3 are legitimate ducks, and Keith Thurman is one of them, like I said, and to the point where Errol Spence, to me, Errol Spence is one of my favorite fighters, because to me, a guy that reminds me of Errol Spence right now is David Benavidez. David Benavidez seems like he'll fight anybody. I believe that Errol Spence will fight anybody. So would guys like I don't really understand how people don't like David Benavidez, Errol Spence, even Tim Tszyu. You know, Tim Tszyu seems like he'll fight anybody. You know, that doesn't mean that they'll beat everybody, but it seems like they're down to fight everybody. So salute to them. I think that they are fighters, and fan-friendly fighters. You know, but Errol Spence said, like, I think it was like a year ago. I think it was before he fought Terrence Crawford. Somebody asked about Keith Thurman, or maybe it was after. I don't know. But he was like, he said, I go to my grave before I fight Keith Thurman. And it's not because he's scared of Keith Thurman. It's because he remembers what Keith Thurman put him through. You know, Keith Thurman, they'll plan a fight, schedule the fight, then he'll call it off. Then they'll have another schedule, then they'll call it off. It's like he was like dangling a carrot in front of a rabbit, or whatever they dangle in front of the dogs, the greyhound, you know, the greyhound dogs. It's like he was like chasing them for so long, the fight never came to fruition. And if you paid attention, there's no way that you could. And I'm a Florida boy, you know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman's a fellow Floridian, but I can't even lie to deny the truth. You know, and the truth is that Keith Thurman didn't want to fight Errol Spence. So now, of course, he wants to fight Errol Spence, because Errol Spence he had that car accident, and then he got whooped by Terrence Crawford. You know, he got destroyed, brutalized by Terrence Crawford. So of course he wants to fight him now, but that'd be a big money fight. So if that fight happens, I wouldn't be mad at it, but that's long overdue, man. So if it was up to me, I wouldn't let Keith Thurman fight Errol Spence. I mean, I wouldn't let Errol Spence fight Keith Thurman, and hopefully Errol Spence stands on that. And a similar situation was when Floyd Mayweather fought Sugar Shane Mosley. A lot of people said, oh, well, Floyd Mayweather tried to age out Sugar Shane Mosley. No, Floyd Mayweather was being petty, if you will, and he was getting his get back, because those of you that watch boxing and really watch boxing, you know that Floyd Mayweather called out Sugar Shane Mosley when he was still Pretty Boy Floyd. But Sugar Shane Mosley ignored him and said, oh, he hasn't accomplished anything. He doesn't, there's no point in him. He needs to go do more before he gets a fight with me. And so when Floyd Mayweather was on top, Sugar Shane Mosley started calling out Floyd, and Floyd returned the favor. So them not fighting is kind of more so, not even kind of, it's more so on Sugar Shane than it is on Floyd. It's just that Sugar Shane wanted Floyd once Floyd was the money man. And, you know, Floyd was like, okay, nah, I'm going to make you wait. I'm not going to fight you because you didn't fight me when I was calling you out. So that's kind of how Errol Spence probably feels right now with Keith Thurman. It's like, bro, I've been trying to fight you forever, and you've been stringing me along, and now you want to fight because it's a big fight, man. What happened to Fedor versus Spence? Man, that I don't even know. Your guess is as good as mine with that one, man. That fight was supposed to happen so many times, Styles, and then it just didn't happen. So I don't know, man. But I don't think that's happening right now. We got Fedor fighting Cordell Booker, you know, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes, bro. But yeah, man. So that's it for Keith Thurman, man. Shout out to Keith One Time Thurman for being back. We gonna cross that off. But yeah, man, he did his thing though. He did his, I can't take it away from him. I just don't know how impressed I am. But I would be impressed if he fights Tim Tszyu, you know, and beats him. Even if Tim Tszyu, despite Tim Tszyu coming off of 2 L's, if he beats Joey Spencer and they have this fight and he revisits Australia, then I wouldn't be mad at that. But let's go. Let's move forward a little bit. We won't know what Keith is until we see him tested by a top 5 guy. Right. I don't even think he has to be a top 5 guy, Tech. Like I said, Tim Tszyu would be cool. Tim Tszyu would be sufficient, you know. I don't think that he's like, I don't think he should fight like a top guy. I'm not saying that, but like a Tim Tszyu would be sufficient. Like, or like let's say Erickson Hammer Lubin, or let's say like I don't think he beats Jesus Ramos. I'm not gonna lie. I think Jesus Ramos hits too hard. But like, yeah, he could fight like even like a Cordell Booker, like Sebastian Fedor is fighting. To me, it doesn't have to be a top 5 guy, but like, but I'm with you, but like a top 10 guy, you know, maybe top 15 guy, you know, somebody that's recognizable, but I don't think he has to be like a champion. I don't think Keith Thurman, and this is just me doubting. I don't have any ocular proof that Keith Thurman can't hang with a top 5 guy, but I don't know, man. 5 years in that, well, 5 years of fighting twice, 3 years of fighting once. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Except Fedor would have hurt Spence. Yeah, I probably. I think Fedor may have hurt Spence, but it's good to see, right? Because a lot of people are saying that because Spence, of what Terrence Crawford did to Spence, right? That's Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is an undefeated, 2-time undisputed Hall of Famer already, all-time great. Sebastian Fedor is not that. Sebastian Fedor got knocked out by Brian Mendoza. So let's be very clear on that. He got knocked out by Brian Mendoza before he fought Tim Tszyu. So let's be very clear on that. Sebastian Fedor didn't get the title shot by merit. He got it because of injury, and that injury was to Keith Thurman. So when people say, "Oh yeah, he'll get destroyed by Spence," from what? What evidence do you have of that? The only evidence that we think that Spence will get destroyed is because of Spence, not because of Sebastian Fedor. Let's not get that twisted. Because if Spence was anything like Spence, Spence smokes Fedor. Fedor only beats Spence as if Spence is as bad. Is in as bad a shape as we think he is. Spence is still a top guy. He only has 1 loss, but that's a problem with boxing fans, because somebody loses one time and we throw them away, but then we say, oh, the fighters, they want to hold on to their nobody wants to lose their no one wants to lose their they're cowards. No, it's because they realize the climate of fandom around boxing. They know when you lose one time you get thrown away. Same thing people did to Deontay Wilder. Same thing people did to Tim Tszyu. Same thing people did to Subriel Matias. There's plenty of people. Look how many Subriel Matias boxing channels there were. Where are they now? where the Subriel Matias? Remember, he was the boogeyman, and there were so many boxing channels talking about Subriel Matias is the best. He's the best. He's the best. Then Subriel Matias lost to Liam Paul, which we call, by the way. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, Subriel Matias disappeared. That's what people do, bro. These so-called boxing fans. So Errol Spence is in a unique position, in a bad unique position, but because he has diminished because of his car accident, and then he looked that bad, But there's explanations, right? He said he was weight drained, and that's why he moved up to 154. And I don't think he's a liar. I think that if he was lying, then he wouldn't have had that fight in the first place. He said that he was going to make that fight with Terrence Crawford, and he was a man of his word before he moved up to 154. So yes, the car accident hurt him, but I don't think that's why he lost to Terrence Crawford. You know, I think that's part of it. But remember, after the car accident, he fought Danny Swift Garcia. That's a world champion level guy. He beat him after post car accident, and then he also beat Yordenis Ugas, who just beat Pacquiao post car accident. So I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive, right? You could recognize that he wasn't the same Errol Spence, peak Errol Spence, but at the same time, you could also acknowledge that we wouldn't anticipate anybody to whoop Errol Spence like Terrence Crawford did, regardless of the circumstances. So it's like, it's easy to acknowledge both for me, you know, but for some people it's hard, you know. So it's not an excuse, but I think that anybody with common sense will see that's not the same Errol Spence. But also you can recognize that Terrence Crawford is that guy, and nobody does Errol Spence like that besides Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford did him dirty, you know. So both things could exist simultaneously. Yeah, you don't really watch boxing, Donnie, because you said Spence is damaged by his crash. Absolutely, he's damaged by his crash. But I just gave you 2 examples of guys, of world champion guys that he beat after his crash. So you seem like you might not like Terrence Crawford then, or something like that, because I feel like when people say stuff like that, I feel like they're just trying to knock Terrence Crawford's victory. And I'm an Errol Spence guy, and maybe I'm wrong about you, Donnie, but that's what it seems like. Am I right or wrong? Yeah, so yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. That fight was played last year's back on Keith versus Zoo next. Hey, yeah, Tim Zoo has to beat Joey Spencer. Yeah, Tim Zoo has to beat Joey Spencer. So the whole point of me bringing that up, you're saying it's a pass, but the whole point, you don't know how far the pass it was, because obviously you don't even know that Errol Spence beat two world class guys after his accident. So you just talking because you repeated what you hear other people say that are wrong. But anyway, we'll see what Errol Spence looks like. I think he deserves a chance to bounce back. Do I think he'll bounce back? No. I think that I agree that Fedor would beat Spence, but I don't agree with it for the same reasoning as people like Donnie. You know what I'm saying? We might get to the same conclusion, but context matters. You're saying it like Errol Spence is just trash because he lost one time to a guy that's a top 3 guy pound for pound. How does that make sense? That literally makes no sense. You know, if you can't lose to a guy that's top 3 pound for pound, I don't care what the circumstances are, then you can't lose to anybody. You know, so if you can't lose to anybody, then that means that you just want to throw away fighters. But yeah, Errol Spence, I do think that he's done, but I don't think he's done because he lost to Terrence Crawford. I think he's done because, you know, everything and his career, how his career has been going, you know, not just because he lost to Terrence Crawford, you know. I'll be honest, that whooping Bud put on Spence was brutal to watch. Bro, it was nasty, Styles. It was nasty. It was, bro, that was, like I said, that was a crazy beatdown. Like, even if you picked Terrence Crawford to beat Errol Spence, or you picked Errol Spence to beat Terrence Crawford, I don't think that you had either one of those guys beating the other one like that. Like, that was crazy, bro. That was nuts. And the reason why people didn't have him winning like that is because, like I said, even though Errol Spence was diminished, he was still able to beat world caliber guys like your Dennis Ugas and Daniel Garcia. I think Errol Spence was like, if I had to put a number on it, I'd say Errol Spence probably like 85%. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know, but I think if Spence could even be 80% of the old Spence, he will murder for. Thank you, Tech, because you actually watch boxing. You know what I'm saying? You actually watch boxing. Thank you, Tech. But yeah, let's move on, man. Let's move on. We're gonna go on to let's go to Virgil Ortiz, man. So there's been some news with Virgil Ortiz and Bakram Murtazalia. So this is another championship fight at 154. I want to stay at 154 right now. Virgil Ortiz, I'm not gonna lie, man, I doubted Virgil Ortiz for a little bit, right? I think Virgil Ortiz, I always thought he was good, but to me he was like I just wasn't sure how good. Kind of like Jerron Boots Ennis, right? Jerron Boots Ennis, he's in a better position because he's a champion, but Jerron Boots Ennis I thought was good, and I think that Jerron Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz are both young guys that have a lot of potential, have a high ceiling, and they have all the ingredients to become a pound for pound talent or recognized as such, besides an important ingredient, which is the level of competition, right? High caliber opposition. But at least Jerron Boots Ennis is a full champion. Virgil Ortiz is an interim champion now, but at least he's a full champion. But Virgil Ortiz lately, man, he beat Serhiy Boachuk. A lot of people thought he lost. It was controversial. I thought it could have went either way. He overcame 2 knockdowns. I'm cool with that. Then he beat Israel Madrimov. I thought he was going to lose against Israel Madrimov, man. I know they say Israel Madrimov had bronchitis or whatever. He was ill. I'm not trying to hear it. Shout out to Virgil Ortiz, because I can't say that without taking away credit from Virgil Ortiz and his accomplishment. I think Israel Madrimov is a good guy. I think he's going to bounce back. And I think that him losing to Terrence Bud Crawford is not a testament to him not being good. It's a testament to how good Terrence Crawford is, unlike most people think, you know. So I think Israel Madrimov can bounce back. I still think he'll bounce back, but I got to give Virgil Ortiz all the credit in the world. However, man, we talk about him fighting Bakram Murtazali. So if I would have heard this like a couple months ago, I'd be like, I'm not buying it. But now I bought it, right? But they were just rumors, you know. Bakram Murtazali is promoter's main event, and what's her name? I can't remember her name right. Something Duva, the CEO of Duva. Her husband who passed away, Rob Duva. Can't remember her name. Forgive me. But anyway, they had some back and forth saying on Twitter with Virgil Ortiz's pops, Virgil Ortiz Sr., saying, "Hey man, you know, we signed our end. We just wait for Virgil Ortiz to sign his end." I dropped a video on it. Go check it out. Would I go into it in more depth? But you know, they say they signed with Big Turk for Virgil Ortiz and Bakram to be in Alcatraz, you know, the former jail off the coast of California. I think that'd be a great fight, man. And you know, but unfortunately, good things do come to an end, and that was short lived, you know, as far as it being a rumor. And I don't think it was more of a rumor. I think it was true, you know. Dan Rafael first reported it, and they just followed up. You know, I do think that Big Turk, you know, we've seen this before with Big Turk, right? We've seen Turki Al-Sheikh have fights to be negotiated with this person and be negotiated with this person. Like he'll be like a middleman, right? He'll be negotiated with two parties separately. So I do believe that Bakram Murtazaliev and his camp probably did have preliminary negotiations or signed preliminary contracts with Turk's side, and then Turk just didn't get around to his part with Virgil Ortiz and Oscar De La Hoya in them yet, you know. So I don't think anybody's lying, but once again, people are going to hear this and they're going to scream what? One of those words that I said is severely overused in the boxing world, right? And they're going to say, oh, somebody's ducking. So it's just like, I don't think anybody's ducking. I don't think anybody's lying. Like, people have reputations that they want to uphold and integrity they want to keep, because they don't want to damage their reputation off a frivolous lie. I don't think so. I don't think Bakram and his team are lying. I don't think Virgil Ortiz and his team are lying. I just think that, you know, things get lost in translation. And I think, like I said, we've seen this before, right? With Big Turk, when they were talking about Jerron Boutsinis and Virgil Ortiz fighting. Jerron Boutsinis just fought at 147 to keep his belt and satisfy his mandatory at 147 when he fought Karen Chukazan the second time. Why would he fight a mandatory that nobody wanted to see him fight, a rematch that nobody was anticipating or intrigued by? Why would he do that to keep his belt at 147 if he planned on leaving and going to 154? It's because people hear what they want to hear. And it's like your eyes and your ears will deceive you when you want to see something or you want to hear something. After he beat Karen, Chris Mannix, who's terrible anyway, but he asked him, oh, do you want to fight guys at 154? Jerron Boutsinis is a fighter. He's not going to say, oh, no, I'm scared of 154. No, he said that, yeah, I would fight anybody. And I would fight people at 154, of course. He never said, oh, I'm committing to going to 154 next. But people jumped out the window and ran with that, right? So people thought that, oh, you know, they were going to make a Virgil Ortiz fight. He said, no, I would fight anybody, including Virgil Ortiz. He just answered the question. He didn't say he was going to 154. So people call them a duck, right? And then let's talk about with Turk, right? He was supposed to make Terrence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz. That fight didn't happen. He was supposed to make Zepeda and Shakur. They shook on it, him and Oscar De La Hoya. That fight didn't happen. So my point is that sometimes these things may happen on one side and not happen on the other side. So I don't think there's anything wrong or out of bounds with this. I just think that it was prematurely released in the media, whoever got a hold of it, and then now it's gonna look like somebody is avoiding somebody. I don't think that's the case. I just think that, you know, and the reason why I brought up Virgil Ortiz in his last two fights is because, like I said, he gained a lot of my respect, because I feel like he's one of those fighters that will fight anybody too, because he's been saying that, he's been proving that, you know, by taking on Israel Madrimov and Serhiy Boachuk. Serhiy Boachuk, that was a step up for him. It wasn't a major step up. I think people kind of over exaggerate, because Serhiy Boachuk did have a loss against Brandon Adams, and a lot of people thought Virgil Ortiz would win because he has a signature left hook, and Brandon Adams stopped Serhiy Boachuk with what? A left hook, you know. So I think that was kind of in his favor based off what people thought, probably including his team. But it was still a good fight, because I recognize Serhiy Boachuk as a good fighter. So I got to give him that credit, man, even though it was a close fight, controversial decision. But, you know, I was cool with him winning, man. I thought he did his thing. So shout out to Virgil Ortiz. I think he would fight Bakram, but unfortunately, I don't think it's happening. And also, too, not to mention that, Virgil Ortiz says that he wants Fedor and Jermell Charlo. When have we seen Jermell Charlo? But anyway, that's what he said he wants. And I would like to see him versus either one of them. I think those are good fights, but Sebastian Fedor has to take on... he has to beat Cordell Booker first. Tecto Dad says Ramos versus Bakra will be fight. Woo! Ooh, Jesus Ramos versus Bakram will be nasty. I think Tszyu fight against Bakram was more of a statement about Tszyu looking passive for a big money fight. Bakram was impressive. I take nothing from him, but Tszyu had no game plan. I agree with that too. I think it's a combination of both. He said, Donnie says, it's a timing thing with Virgil needing to heal from the cuts and his hands being cleared to train. Yeah, that's what people are saying. I don't know if I believe that. I think it's just that I think it was more so that, yeah, I'm not saying that his hands weren't hurt, but I think it's more so that he also did not get the contract. I don't think that he's lying. I don't think him or his father is lying. I'd give people the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. You know what I'm saying? I really believe in innocent till proven guilty. So if his father says that they didn't receive a contract, they didn't receive a contract. Now, if you're saying that even if they received a contract, they may not have accepted it because his hands, I mean, I don't care about that. That's all speculation. You know what I'm saying? People say all types of things. Is his hands hurt? Yeah. Is his hands hurt to the point where he couldn't fight anymore? I mean, I don't know. I don't care. Not at this point. It's not my concern. You know, I don't really, you know, as long as he's okay and he can fight, that's what I care about. I care about scheduled fights. I don't care about hypothetical reasons or injuries or recovery. You know, you can fight when you can fight. And this was news about a fight. And the news from Virgil Ortiz Sr. from himself was that he didn't receive a contract. And I believe him. I believe it, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's what Virgil said, not people. No, Virgil never said that I'm having my hands done so I can't fight Bakram. So that's a lie. What you just said is a lie, Donnie. So I'm going to start ignoring you because you just be talking shit. Virgil said his hands are hurt. He never said I'm not fighting Bakram because my hands are hurt. He never said that. So if you can show me that verbatim, then I believe it. If not, then you just said a whole bunch of stupid shit already. He said, I think it's time for me to go to 154. He said it because of his performance. No, Rafael, he didn't say that. Well, yeah, he said that. He said that on his performance. He said that about his performance after Karen, but it was still part of the question. You know what I'm saying? It was still part of the question for Chris Mannix. The IBF rehydration clause looking shaky for Virgil. Yeah, it's crazy. Yo, George, the last Patriot in the building. What's good, bro? The IBF rehydration clause looking shaky. Bro, the IBF clause looking crazy for anybody, you know, but at the same time, I think that I'm not gonna lie. Like, whether it's Richardson Hitchens, whether it's Virgil Ortiz, whether it's whoever it is in the IBF, I don't care, bro. Like, I'm so sick of hearing about this rehydration clause, bro. If you can't make the weight, take your fat ass up, bro. That's it, bro. Just take your fat behind up, bro. If you can't make the weight, take your fat behind up. I'm tired of people complaining like you are in the IBF. Donnie said, man, you one of those most boys. Yeah, right in your mouth. All moist in your mouth. Swallow slow. Yeah. He said, you just mad because you're wrong. You're wrong. You see what he said, though, chat? He said, watch the interview. He did not say anything about Virgil Ortiz saying that Virgil Ortiz's hands were hurt, so he didn't go to the, so he's not fighting Bakram. So if you can show me that he said that verbatim, then who's moist, me or you? Yeah. And if I am moist, right in your mouth. Wipe your chin and swallow slow, bum. Yeah, how about that? Oh, go ahead, toss him. It's too early for stupidity, man. People just try to be right so much that they manipulate people's words. He never said, oh, I'm not fighting Bakram because my hands hurt. Never said that. So if you can show me that he said that, then I'll believe you. If not, get the hell out of my gosh damn chat. Go ahead, toss him, chat. You go ahead, give you 30 minutes, put you at the kitty table, bum. Yeah. I'm on somebody moist. Yes, sir. You know I'm moist right in your mouth. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, so I don't think that I'm so sick of hearing about the IBF rehydration clauses, man, because that's what it is. That's what you signed up for. You signed up for, you know, that's part of the IBF sanctioning bodies, right? You know that they have a rehydration limit. I'm not saying Virgil Ortiz said this, but I have seen Richard Hitchens say this. I've seen other fighters say this too. It's like, bro, that's whether it's Boots, Virgil Ortiz, Richard Hitchens, anybody that's part of the IBF, bro, that's what it is, dog. Like, I love the fact that 154, I mean, that IBF has the rehydration clause because they are minimizing weight bullying. You know, whether you like it or not. To me, it's so funny that we knock fighters and knock the IBF or whatever it is for having the rehydration clause, but we don't knock the fighters that are trying to be bigger than other fighters in order to fight them. They're literally trying to have a size advantage. So what's more cowardly? Trying to have a significant size advantage and fight smaller guys, or wanting people to be at the weight that they signed up for? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't trying to hear nothing about the IBF, man. I don't care what fighter it is, bro. If you in the IBF, that is what it is. You got to abide by those rules. If you can't make the weight, go up. Simple as that. No one's stopping you from, no one's forcing you to fight at a certain weight class. He said, to be 100% accurate, my boy Candy Slim in the building, big member in the building. He said PBC would be around for a long time. So many boxers can build with that platform. Facts, pugilism. Hear me out. No limit promotions with Eye of the Tiger. Hey, I like that, Canelo. That'd be a nice little war right there. To be 100% accurate, he said it might be time to go. Thank you, Candy Slim. Nothing definitive, just mulling his options. So, shout out to you, Candy Slim. To be very fair, not to be 1,000% accurate. That's what he said. But people want, like I said, people want to manipulate things just like that goofy behind dude tried to do it, make it seem like Virgil Ortiz said, "Oh, I'm not fighting Bakram because my hands hurt." He never said that. Or just like the other dude came here and tried to say, "Oh, well, he said I'm going to 154 because I can't make the weight." He never said that. He said he might be going, and he said, and he was looking at these other options. But even if, regardless of what he said that because of the question he was asked by Chris Mannix and other people that followed up with the questions in the interview. So that's like when people say, "Oh, I'll fight Naya Inoue." When someone asks me if I'll fight Naya Inoue, that's not me calling out Naya Inoue. That's what people try to say. Oh, this person called out Naya Inoue. This person called out Naya Inoue. This person called out Canelo. This person called out. No, bro, that's not the same thing. Those are not synonymous. One, I'm answering a question. The other one, I'm just giving you my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm not making a random statement, it's not always the same thing like that. That's why sometimes the fighters don't want to talk to some media, because you got goofballs like the person I just tossed, pause, and then you got goofballs like the other person, was it Raphael or whatever, who's been wrong 20 times. Like some people just like to be wrong.
No, did he?
I mean, it is what it is, bro. They never said that. So that's how you interpret it. You can't help how people interpret things because you're just not too intelligent. But anyway, but yeah, so I'm so sick of hearing about that freak IBF rehydration limit. But you're right though, Oscar, because Virgil Ortiz has struggled with weight. So yeah, you're probably right. He might, that IBF weight clause, weight restriction may be trouble for him to fight Bakram. You're absolutely right, man. But yeah, let's move on from Virgil Ortiz and stuff like that, and let's keep it going. He said, talk to him. That's what Benavidez will never go to IBF route, to be first in line. That's a fact. Shout out to my boy Oscar dropping that graffiti on the chat walls with that bread, that cheese, that butter. He said, talk to him. That's why Benavidez will never go to IBF route to be first in line. Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, yeah, because he could do that, right? Because, I mean, that's a fact. IBF is first with Michael Eifert for the 175. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to go that route, you know? And like I said, I like David Benavidez, but I do think that people need to slow down with, oh, he deserves this. He deserves this. I think he does. Let me rephrase that. I was talking too fast. He does deserve a title shot. But does he deserve it more than other folks? Does he deserve to cut the line? No, he doesn't. There's other people that are deserving, or if not more deserving, for title shots as well in his division. That's why they're ordered to fight, and he's not. You know, same with when he was fighting Canelo. He was never ordered. You know, you could blame the WBC or blame whoever you want to blame. You could blame him for being on that booger sugar one time or missing weight one time, whatever you want to blame, but you cannot just tell half the story. I mean, or you can, and you just look dumb when you talk to people who really know the whole story, you know? So it's up to you and your preference, you know. Don't forget to smack that like button. But yeah, man, so let's move on from Virgil Ortiz. Basically, him and Bakram are unfortunately just rumors. And like I said, I don't think any one of them look bad. I don't think Virgil Ortiz is ducking Bakram. I don't think Bakram is lying in his team. I just think that, you know, there's a lot of things with boxing, a lot of movement parts, a lot of negotiations that happen, and sometimes it falls through, man. That doesn't mean that anybody's scared of anybody, man. So shout out to Virgil Ortiz. And he did call out Charlo and Fedor. We'll see how that goes if Fedor beats Cordell Booker, or if Jermell Charlo ever comes back, right? All right, so now let's move on to we got we got the hand right there, man. I want to talk about the hand, man. So we got the hand at the bottom. That's for the slap. So there was multiple slaps, you know, slap like Caleb Plant slapped Jermall Charlo, right? Caleb Plant slapped Jermall Charlo for disrespecting. Chris Eubank slapped Conor Benn with an egg for cheating and disrespecting the sport. And then Teofimo slapped Artur Barbosa for disrespecting by slapping off his hat. Now, like y'all know, I don't like Teofimo at all, but he's the most decorated champion at 140 right now. He's been there the longest. He has the most longevity, and he's a good fighter. I think he doesn't always show that he's good or demonstrate that he's good. Sometimes it might lead to people thinking he's overrated a bit, but he's a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? He, like I say, he's the longest reigning champion at 140. But I say that to say that I don't like Teofimo for some of the stuff that he's been saying, using racist dialogue to quote unquote promote the fight, and then he'll say, oh, thank God right after, you know what I'm saying, and praise Jesus and follow me, follow Christ. You know, I don't think that you're using it for promotion. Anybody stoops to a level, that's how they feel in their heart, in my opinion. And him and his father are both some incompetent, ignorant, ridiculous buffoons. So I'm not going for them at all, never will root for them, but I still am objective enough to where I can recognize his talent. I've always thought he was a good talent, you know. But anyway, he slapped the hell out of Arnold Barbosa. I'm talking about, you heard it go. I ain't gonna lie, I may not like Teofimo, but that was a darn good slap. I ain't gonna lie, that slap was fire. He slapped fire out of Arnold Barbosa, and if that's indicative of how the fight's gonna go, boy, Arnold Barbosa gonna be for a long night. He got the fire slapped out of him. And I just, you know, but the crazy part to me is that, you know, Eubank slapped, what's his name, Conor Benn with an egg, right? And he got a hefty fine. He got like 100,000 euros, right? That's a lot of money to slap somebody that cheated. And what's crazy to me is that he was fined by the BBBFC, the British Board of Boxing Control, right? And it kind of annoys me, chat, because Conor Benn cheated. He got caught cheating. Chris Algieri or anybody else that he beat while he was on these steroids, they didn't get paid anything. You know, Chris Eubank, who was supposed to fight Conor Benn, and the fight was initially called off because Conor Benn popped dirty for steroids. He didn't get paid anything. But the British Board of Boxing Control gets paid because Conor Benn got slapped. Conor Benn didn't get anything. He's the one that actually got slapped. As far as monetary compensation. Now, maybe they negotiated something in their contract where he got paid or compensated for it, but I'm saying in the public, Conor Benn didn't get any money from getting slapped, right? We'll move forward, right? You know, Devin Haney got cheated by Ryan Garcia when he popped dirty, right? Devin Haney hasn't got paid or broken off any money, hasn't received any financial compensation yet, right? But you know who did? The New York State Athletic Commission, the NYSAC. Ryan Garcia had to pay them some money. They didn't get punched on by Ryan Garcia when he cheated. That was Devin Haney. But you know, but the point is to say that, like, people will get mad at fighters when they use the courts or use their resources to their advantage. What they're supposed to do. These are protocols that are set up for them to use, whether they're appealing a decision or whether they're suing somebody, whatever it is that you may not agree with because you think this equates to being in the street, which it doesn't. It's just boxing. It's a business. People get sued all the time. People get fined all the time. But when a boxer does it, especially a boxer of a darker complexion that you probably don't like, then you get mad and say, oh, they shouldn't go that route. But you know how many, like Frank Warren, like I said, he sues people all the time. Chris Eubank be getting... Chris Eubank got sued by Frank Warren for calling him a scumbag. Now he just got sued by the BBBFC for slapping Conor Benn. You see what I'm saying? Like, so these things happen all the time. So I just want to bring light to that because I think it's crazy that, you know, all these entities and companies and sanctioned bodies and stuff will get paid off the actions of a fighter, whether it's cheating or whatever it is. But then when fighters try to get paid too and get paid damages, then all of a sudden they're weak. No, man, like, let them do what they want to do. And, you know, if they're going to get slapped with fines, and they should get slapped with some money in their pocket too, if it's deserved. I'm not saying go out your way to sue people, but at the same time, if you can't do it, then do it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to, or even if you're Lamont Roach, and Lamont Roach, you feel like there was an injustice with the tank situation with the no calls, boom, go appeal it. I don't see anything wrong with that, bro. Like, use your tools. He said they blackballing Chris Eubank Jr. for not being a slave. Hey, yo. Shout out to my boy Canelo. But yeah, man, I thought that was whack. But I don't really care who wins between Chris Eubank and Conor Benn, but I'm going with Chris Eubank just because Chris Eubank's not a cheater, you know, from just the strength of that. But I ain't gonna lie, that Teofimo slap was fire, boy. He slapped the heck out of Arnold Barbosa, man. I'm talking about that thing was. Hey, and this is what I don't understand. Omari, what's good, my boy? What I don't understand, maybe you can help me out, Candy Slim or Canelo or somebody. Like, the same thing happened with David Morrell. Like, bro, if you're in a tense situation and you watch somebody put their stuff down, what do you think's gonna happen? Like David Benavidez, when him and Morrell got into a little shoving or like face to face, David Benavidez calmly took off his glasses. He gave, I think his father, maybe it was Jose Benavidez Sr., or maybe it was somebody on his team. He gave them his belt, and then he proceeded to, I don't know, did he push or slap David? I think he pushed the heck out of David Morrell. Then shot out to David Morrell. He got his get back. He threw his belt at him. But how did you not see that coming? Your spider sense wasn't tingling at all, bro. If somebody has something in their hand and you're talking trash, you're engaging in a verbal altercation, and somebody has stuff in their hand and they put it down, please believe they plan on getting physical. They plan on turning that verbal altercation to a physical altercation. How do you not see this coming? And you're a fighter. You're a pugilist. And then so even with Conor Benn and Chris Eubank was like, huh? What'd you say? he kept leaning in. He was like, he wasn't even saying nothing. Go back and watch it. He was listening to Conor Benn say, huh? What'd you say? And then he put his hands in his pocket. He said, huh? And he slapped the egg on his face. Pause, bro. And then if you watch this, Arnold Barbosa slapped the hat off of Teofimo. Teofimo says, oh, okay, hold on. He grabs his belt, gives it to somebody, one of his people. He gives it to someone, walks back up to him, and they talking. He said, huh? And he slap fired him. Like, bro, your spider sensor, it's not tingling or nothing. You ain't watch Spider-Man, you know, the neighborhood friendly Spider-Man or Peter Parker. Like, bro, something should have been, you should have known this. Like, you got to be observant, man. So, and even with basketball, you see the tape with Jordan Poole and Draymond Green. Bro, they were talking trash. Draymond Green walked 100,000 yards. What's that song? I walk 100,000 miles if I could see you. You know, he walked 100,000 miles just so he could see Jordan Poole. And Jordan Poole still wasn't ready. Jordan Poole had his hands in his pockets, looking down, talking trash. Like, I'm not saying that you got to be the toughest person in the world. I'm not saying that you got to be the smartest person in the world or the most or the most gangster person in the world. But at the same time, if you're going to talk trash, you should be prepared for what comes after that. It's like Mike Tyson always says, man, social media has made people far too comfortable with talking trash and not getting slapped in the mouth for it. That's just a fact, bro. Like, some of these people that shouldn't even talk trash, they're not accustomed to talking trash. They don't know what comes after talking trash. You probably shouldn't talk trash, but you got so comfortable with there being no repercussion or consequence to your trash talk, and you just got so comfortable saying whatever you want to anybody in any setting that you forget and you get punched in the mouth. I never felt bad for Jordan Poole. I didn't feel bad for, I like Arnold Barbosa. I'm rooting for him. I didn't feel bad for Arnold Barbosa. I didn't feel bad for Conor Benn. Hell, I didn't even feel bad for Chris Rock. You talk about somebody's wife, I don't care what your occupation is. You could be a comedian, a janitor, an actor, a thespian, or, you know what I'm saying, an artist. You talk trash about a man's wife, I don't care what setting you're in, you should at least be prepared to get slapped. I'm talking about Chris Rock said something about Will Smith, and then Will Smith got up out of his seat and walked to him, and Chris Rock stuck out his neck and started laughing. So, Will Smith is walking up to me, and got the fire slapped out his ass. And people feeling bad for Chris Rock. He ain't no child. He's not 2 years old. You talking trash. You got slapped, and he did it habitually. He talked trash to Jada Pinkett, to Will Smith multiple times about Jada Pinkett. And now you got slapped for it. Don't feel bad for no grown man getting slapped. You put your neck out there. You got checked. That's what's supposed to happen. Stop talking trash if you're not prepared to get slapped. So, but anyway, my point is that if you are gonna get slapped, if the person that got hit on, at least let them be the beneficiary of the financial compensation, man. The BBBFC, the British Board of Boxing Control, the British Boxing Board of Control, they got broke off. Conor Benn ain't getting nothing. None of his victims got anything. Now Teofimo might get fined, and I bet you Arnold Barbosa ain't gonna get a lick of a penny. Nothing. He ain't gonna get a dime. But everybody else gets paid. But when a fighter sues somebody, that's a problem. I just think that's crazy, man. But yeah, we're gonna get rid of that hand though. He said before the steroids, Conor Benn looked like he could move down to 140. Then out of nowhere, he looks like he came fresh out of right. Facts, George. Facts. Cloister was good. Facts, George. Exactly, man. So let's move on, man. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about Bill Haney, man. I want to talk about Bill Haney, chat. And y'all got to see this, man. This is what Bill Haney. So for those of you that missed the press conference, man, shame on you. But it's not really that. It's not that great. It's not that bad, but it's not that great. You know, the May 2nd press conference is what I'm talking about. But this one got a little more fiery. This one got a little more fiery. He had an exchange between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, which is what we all wanted to see, right? A lot of us. I mean, I don't really care for it personally, but a lot of us want to see that, right? And so Let's oh, let me show you this first though. Before I do that, let me show you so just so y'all don't think I'm capping. Um Yo, shout out to my boy Oscar, man, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
Omari said Brett. He says some of the fighters claim to be street but don't know when shit going down. Eggs, thank you, Oscar. Like, how you street? You can't see when somebody about to slap fire at you, bro. Like, I seen it coming before it happened. I knew. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think Tio was gonna slap him, but I knew he was gonna give him a hard push or something. You know, like I don't know, man. You know, and say with Jamal Charlo. Like, how you ain't see Caleb Plant slap coming? I guess because he was comfortable. He thought he was with his homies, and Caleb Plant went about that life. He slapped fire at him, bro. Like, I don't feel bad for anybody, bro. You're a grown man, and you get slapped when somebody walks towards you, and you already engaged in trash talking. Like, if somebody slaps you out of nowhere, of course that doesn't make sense. But if y'all have some type of history of trash talk to each other, and somebody walks up to you from 1,000 miles away, whatever happens is supposed to happen, bro. You're not prepared. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about. Of course, I'm not talking about anything like crazy, like gun violence or nothing like that, but you know, I'm talking about physical altercations, bro. If you don't talk trash if you're not prepared for what can happen, bro. But yeah, look at this right here, just in case y'all thought I was tripping. Agreed, Doc. As they say, you got to be able to read the room, baby. Thank you, Candy Slim. But yeah, look right here. It just popped up as I was talking about it. Chris Eubank says 100. What's that? Euros? 100,000 euros fined by BBBFC is worth every penny. Worth every penny. He said it's worth every penny, chat. Oh man, that's too funny. But yeah, man, so we gonna go back to the Bill Haney, man. So Bill Haney, if you ever watched the live press conference, man, I know now we about to get intense because you know this topic for me is very I don't want to say a sensitive topic, but I don't like this topic, but I love talking about it because I love my perspective on it, and I know it's gonna ruffle up some people's feathers, but we gonna talk about it right here. Look at this, chat. So this is Bill Haney, man, and you know, the press conference I felt like was very unfair. For those of you that didn't see it, I'm gonna give you a quick recap. I feel like DAZN, I'm pulling for Barbosa. Yeah, me too. But I think Tio is too athletic and quick. I agree. His reflexes, his twitch muscles are very good. His athleticism is very good. I agree with you, Tech. But the DAZN commentary has always been biased. But this press conference has it took the cake. This goofy right here, what's his name? Todd something. And Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora. I like Sergio Mora as a fighter. Like I said, I actually met him, had a great conversation for like 10-15 minutes with Sergio Mora. Dope dude, one-on-one too. Dope dude. But as a commentator, man, I gotta ask for more. I gotta demand more. And how they treat Devin Haney, bro, is so disrespectful, man. Like, they talk about the steroids like it was nothing. Like I said, I've never seen in the history of sport, Candy Slim, Canelo, Oster, Omari, Tech Dumb Dad, Pugilism, correct me if I'm wrong. What's good, Oster? I've never seen in the history of sport, not just boxing. I'm not limiting it to the confines of boxing. Any sport genre, I've never seen in the history of sport people question if performance enhancing drugs enhance the performance. It's in the freaking name. PEDs, I think people get so accustomed to saying the acronym, they don't know what it means. PEDs are performance enhancing drugs, meaning if you take them, your performance is enhanced by default. It doesn't say that, oh, if you take PEDs, you're going to win. It's not performance enhancing drugs to make you automatically win, which I don't know what that what that acronym would be. PEDs, MAW, automatically make you win. I don't know. But it's not performance enhancing drugs if you win. It's not performance enhancing drugs if you knock the person out. It's not performance enhancing drugs if you lose. It's performance enhancing drugs because it enhances your performance if you take them. Win or lose. Amir Khan lost to Kell Brook. That doesn't mean he wasn't on PEDs. He was on the same Austrian. Alexander Povetkin, he beat some people in the last 10 years when he was on Austrian, but he lost to some people too. That doesn't mean that he was or was not on PEDs. So when they bring it up in the regards like, oh, Devin Haney is lying, or it doesn't matter, or even Ryan Garcia saying, oh, how did your brother know? Dummy. What do you mean, how did his brother know that he was going to pop dirty? And you got these sour, soggy body, sloppy face, retarded incompetent, goofball, maggot brain peons that call themselves content creators going with these conspiracies. No, we are here because we're supposed to educate and we're supposed to disseminate appropriate, effective, accurate information, not just how we feel. So when Ryan Garcia says this nonsense, it is up to us to debunk the nonsense and tell you when it's nonsense. So when Ryan Garcia says nonsense like, oh, well, how did Devin Haney's brother knew he was going to pop dirty? And they're like, oh, well, Devin Haney's brother said he had a premonition. I don't care if he's Miss Cleo. I don't care if he's the freaking what's it called? What's the lady in the Matrix? You know what I'm talking about? That they go the Oracle. I don't care if David Haney's little brother's the Oracle from the Matrix. I don't care if he's Miss Cleo from the Hotline. I don't care if it's a psychic. Every psychic that's been accurate in the history of Earth. I don't care, bro. I don't care if he had a vision. Cause it doesn't matter. The fact is, he popped dirty, bro. And I want to say this too. There's, you know, when I was there's this little saying. I don't know if y'all know this. I wish those of you that are hip to psychology, y'all know. But like, if you think about something, sometimes you go to sleep and you're enlightened. You wake up enlightened. You know the answer. Like, for example, there's this joke that my one of my girlfriend's moms told me. Right? Said, oh, it wasn't a joke. It was a riddle. And they're like, I was like, man, I can't get it. I said, what kind of riddle is this? And she said, sleep on it. You're gonna get the answer. I guess people are known to sleep on this riddle and they get the answer. Sure enough, I slept on it and I got the answer, right? Because sometimes, my point is that sometimes you get moments of clarity in your sleep when you think of stuff. And sometimes you reference things that you heard a long time ago, or sometimes you remember things, you know, your recollections on point, or maybe your creativity's on point, whatever it is. Like you just get, maybe you call it divine intervention, but you just get enlightened, right? But I want to be very clear. When Ryan Garcia says, oh, his brother knew about it before he popped dirty. Do you know who Ryan Garcia fought? As a matter of fact, before we show this video, do y'all know who Ryan Garcia fought before he fought Devin Haney? He fought this guy named Oscar Duarte. And just so y'all don't think I'm lying, I want to show you. He fought this guy named Oscar Duarte. Right? This is Devin Haney. That says Devin Haney, right? Y'all can read, right? And it says Oscar Duarte. Do you know what Oscar Duarte said after he lost to Ryan Garcia? Do y'all remember that? I do. Do y'all remember what he said? He said he accused Ryan Garcia of being on PEDs. So that's probably why Devin Haney's brother knew that Ryan Garcia was on something, because he heard it before. In fact, he heard it the fight right before. Go look it up. No one listened because no one cared, because it's Oscar Duarte. Oscar Duarte doesn't get clicks. Oscar Duarte is not popular. Oscar Duarte doesn't have a huge profile. He doesn't have a huge marketing campaign behind him. Now he's getting bigger in profile because he's with Golden Boy and stuff like that. And he just beat Miguel Madueno. He's getting a little bit more spotlight. But before that, no. He was brought in for Ryan Garcia to look good. But even he accused Ryan Garcia. He alleged that Ryan Garcia was on PEDs. So this is nothing. These accusations are nothing new for Ryan Garcia. So maybe that's why Devin Haney's brother had a clue, had a hint that he was going to be on something, because he heard it before, just like I did. Why didn't you hear it before? Oh, it's because you don't pay attention. But it's because Ryan Garcia, because you want him to be your baby daddy. Now you want to pay attention, or you hate Devin Haney so much, so now you want to pay attention. But anyway, let's keep it going. But the whole point of the press conference was very disrespectful and very dismissive of PEDs. I've never seen so many people so dismissive of PEDs. Like I said, I put money on Ryan Garcia. So if you didn't put your hard-earned money on Ryan Garcia to beat Devin Haney, I don't want to hear shit from you. I put my money on Ryan Garcia. I won money off Ryan Garcia beating Devin Haney, but I didn't think it was going to be because he was on PEDs. Do I think that Ryan Garcia would beat Devin Haney again? Absolutely. Yes, I do. Unfortunately, I do. I'll be rooting for Devin Haney, but I think Ryan Garcia would win for the same reasons why I thought Ryan Garcia would win in the first place without the PEDs. But I also recognize PED usage is illegal and it's not right. And even if he doesn't need it to beat him, it still enhances performance. That's the whole point. His performance was enhanced. Whether you win or lose, whether it's a losing effort or a winning effort, your performance is enhanced when you take these drugs, and that's illegal. So it doesn't matter if he would have won without him. What we saw transpire in that ring that fateful day was with PEDs. It wasn't without him, so we don't know. But I would put my money on, again, I'm not going to bet on it because I'm rooting for Devin Haney. But I would put my money again on Ryan Garcia because I just think that matchup is bad for Devin Haney. But it doesn't mean that I think that PEDs don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So those things Please don't get those confused. But let's keep it going, man. We're gonna show what Bill Haney said, because like I said, they were definitely catering to Ryan Garcia. They were asking Devin Haney about the PEDs. You would think that Devin Haney did something wrong. You would think Devin Haney did something wrong. All he did was be a clean athlete. And people are treating him like he's a villain. He was getting booed and all this stuff. And this guy even mentions the crowd booing him. Who cares what the crowds are doing? They're fans. Fans are short for fanatic. The word fan is short for fanatic. When you act fanatical about something, that means you're acting off of emotion and no logic. So fans are going to be fans. And a lot of them are probably racist too. You know what I'm saying? So because anybody, no matter what complexion, where you're from, no matter what gender, religion, if you cheat, you cheat. No one should be rooting for a cheater. I'm not saying you can't root for him. Let me rephrase that. I'm not saying you can't root for him, but don't be booing the guy that got cheated like he did something wrong. But anyway, let's hear what Bill Haney said. Shout out to Bill Haney. He stood on business. I was so happy for Bill Haney. Much respect to Bill Haney, because he approaches, this guy had the audacity to talk trash and be so dismissive of Devin Haney, and act like he did something wrong, and then come and try to smile in his father's face. He's lucky that Bill Haney, all he did was talk to him. Bill Haney should have put pause on him. I'm glad he didn't, though, because he would have gotten in trouble. But shout out to Bill Haney for this, man. And I'm not a Haney fan, but shout out to Bill Haney for this, man. Check it out in case y'all missed it.
You're full of shit.
Me?
You're full of shit. And I hope that this is what you guys wanted to do. It's a fucking circus act. Devin is a real fighter, and you showed no respect.
No respect. I'm talking about complete, bro. This is one of the most disrespectful things I've seen for a fighter that got cheated, and a former champion, a former undisputed champion, the youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era on the male side. The youngest is Gabriela Fedora, because, you know, on the male and female side, when she beat Gabriela Alanis, she's the youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. But Devin Haney, you know, he was the youngest undisputed in the 4-belt era until Gabriela Fedora, but he's still the youngest on the male side. But they were completely disrespectful, bro.
Up there. You show no respect for what he's done for boxing. He's a 2-division champion and undisputed champion, and you're a piece of shit.
Well, that's not kind of you to say.
Well, I mean, I'm just telling you the truth.
Well, why are the fans booing him then?
Well, I mean, that's because of
He just said, why are the fans booing him? What does that got to do with how you talked about the fight? You see, that's what cowards do, though. When they're wrong, they have no accountability. They try to blame anything else. What the freak does fans booing Devin Haney got to do with how you just covered Ryan Garcia cheating Devin Haney? Or being a cheater, period. They were acting like he was a hero. They were celebrating him like he was a hero. Oh, well, Devin Haney, do you think it was just because the PEDs? They're making it seem like he was making an excuse. Devin Haney did not administer the test, y'all. That's not the Devin Haney protocol to take a test. That is what you sign up for when you sign up for VADA. That is what the New York State Athletic Commissions, that's what they impose on you. You have to take tests and you have to pass it. So anybody that's blaming Devin Haney for Ryan Garcia testing positive, that just shows how ridiculous you are and how incompetent you are. Just like this guy. They make it seem like Devin Haney is the one that suspended Ryan Garcia. Like, it's just so crazy, bro. If you go watch a press conference and you just listen to what they're saying, they're really manipulating the narrative, and it's completely disrespectful. But let's keep it going.
Just telling you the truth.
Well, why are the fans booing him then?
Well, I mean, that's because a part of it. We are in LA. This is a great boxing market, right? But it's made up predominantly of Hispanic fans that cheer for Ryan Garcia, and that's quite all right.
And I want to salute Bill Haney for not messing up right there, keeping his wits about him, because he could have said some messed up stuff, which I thought would have been wrong. And when I was listening to this, I was like, please don't say it. Please don't say it. I thought he was going to try to make it seem like he was going to say something that was generalizing against a certain demographic. You don't want to join the circus, man, because then that means he would have joined the circus, because there's some good, competent, lovely people of all shapes, sizes, and colorations and nationalities. You know what I'm saying? But there are some goofballs that are Hispanic, Asian, white, and black too. There's goofballs of everything. There's good people of all shapes and sizes. There's bad people of all shapes and sizes. So when you are in LA and you recognize the crowd, which I'm sure that this goofy behind commentator did recognize what kind of crowd he was in. He recognized that most likely they're going to root for Ryan Garcia, and that's okay. But don't make it seem like that makes it right, because birds of a feather flock together. Quantity does not make quality. Shout out to Bill Haney for handling that well. There's good people of any shape and size, but when you are in a certain place, especially in a place where the fighter is from or the fighter has connections with, then of course they're going to root for the fighter, and they're going to root against the other fighter. So that's not indicative of anybody being good or bad. Shout out to him. He answered that very diplomatically.
Well, it's okay. It's okay to be the bad guy.
But listen, and it's okay to be the bad guy, but it's not.
He said it's okay to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
You made him the bad guy.
Right.
Well, it's okay to be the bad guy.
But listen, and it's okay to be the bad guy, but it's not good for you to be the piece of shit that you are.
Well, explain what you mean by that.
Well,
what did I do specifically?
Well, you didn't describe him for who he was.
Michael Buffer introduced him.
No, but you on the stage, you painted Ryan Garcia as if he's won something.
That's some coward. You see, he just tried to blame Michael Buffer. Bro, Michael Buffer should have ran down on him and stole him. He just tried to blame Michael Buffer, chat. You're the moderator. What's that got to do with Michael Buffer? Michael Buffer introduced everybody. The man first he tried to blame the fans. Then he tried to say he don't know what he's talking about. Then he tried to blame Michael Buffer, bro. The dude's a straight coward, bro. Straight garbage.
He's a PED drug cheat. You never said that that's really.
I did. I asked your son specifically if the punishment fit the crime. I asked your son that specifically, and he said he was at peace at it.
Yeah.
He just said he asked Devin Haney. Notice what he said. He said you never called him a PED drug cheat. You never said that. He said I did. I asked your son about it. Why are you asking Devin Haney about it? Why don't you ask Ryan Garcia why did he cheat? He never asked that, bro. Why did you ask Ryan Garcia why does he feel he's innocent? Why didn't you ask Ryan Garcia why does he feel like his stuff was contaminated? Why don't you ask Ryan Garcia why did he change his story 11 times? Why didn't you ask Ryan Garcia how did his stuff get contaminated or how does he feel after he cheated somebody? He never asked none of that. But he asked Devin Haney. That's my point exactly.
Well, I mean the punishment is one thing, but how you describe what that fighter is and what he is, you didn't do.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I have the most respect for your son. I think he's amazing at it.
I don't think that you do. I think that you are political, right?
Yep.
You did just what you wanted to do.
Yep.
And you got it off.
Yep.
I mean, and that's what this promotion has been about.
Yep.
But number 9.
But we're trying to sell a fight here. You know this, right?
Well, you sell it right.
All right,
you sell it
here's
right.
your chance to sell it.
Right.
Sell it right.
March 2nd, Devin will come in and he's going to be what he's going to be a better version of Devin Haney, just like he said.
There you go. You still feel that way about me? Come on. Give me a hug.
No.
All right. Come on, Bill. You're just talking. All
Good,
right.
good for Bill. He said, back up off me, man. Back up off me, bro. Don't hug me, bro. Don't get your filthy hands up off me, man. Get your hating hands up off me, man. Your nasty, slimy, snakish hands up off me, man. Dude, and it's not just him either. It was Sergio Mora too. Sergio Mora's trash. So is Chris Mannix, and so was that guy. That the whole broadcast was completely trash and completely one-sided and completely biased, bro. You have a responsibility as a boxing aficionado, especially a former fighter like Sergio Mora, who should know better. You have a responsibility to at least put out the truth, bro. And I feel like this is where people try to get information. They painted it like Devin Haney did nothing wrong in this entire situation. He did nothing wrong, but they're treating him like you would think that Devin Haney cheated. That's basically what I'm saying. He said, give me a hug. Yes. Shout out to Oster, man. Oster said, I'm not going to hold you. I do like what Bill Haney did to that bitch ass. Right. That's what I'm saying. So even if you like Ryan, I'm not telling you not to like Ryan Garcia. I'm not saying that you're wrong if you like Ryan Garcia. I'm not saying you're wrong if you don't like Devin Haney. I'm not a big Haney fan. I will say that 1,000 times. I bet money on Ryan Garcia to beat Devin Haney the first time. However, I'm a fan of the sport more than anything. And the sport is no way better if they allow cheaters, bro. If you're an apologist for a cheater, bro, like you're diminishing the integrity of the sport, the sanctity of the sport, and the purity of the sport. You see what I'm saying? Nobody should be cheated, bro. It is what it is. And they were treating, the way they treated him was, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If Devin Haney or Bill Haney would have walked up off that stage, I wouldn't blame him, man. So I commend and applaud Devin Haney for sitting through that mess and going through what he's going through. Like I said, he's not completely innocent as far as his image before that, but everything about him making it seem like, oh, it's his fault, why Ryan Garcia cheated, or some conspiracy. Ryan Garcia blamed his strength and conditioning coach. He blamed Scooter. He blamed Nutribio. He blamed Ashwagandha. He blamed his trainer. He blamed everything and anybody, just like that guy did. That's what cowards do. You see how many people that guy blamed for his own actions? Bill Haney brought it to his chest, and he blamed the fans. He blamed the lack of a lack of awareness. He's saying he didn't know. He blamed Michael Buffer. And then he blamed promoting a fight. That's why a lot of us don't like Teofimo right now, because you can't say, oh, I'm promoting a fight and just do anything that you want to do. If you're talking trash about the fighter, that's cool if you're promoting a fight. But when you take it to things that are out of bounds and racism and stuff like that, bro, boxing does that. But there's enough ignorant fans, black, white, Hispanic, male, female, Asian, or otherwise, that will sell the fight based off of their own ignorant perspectives. We don't need help from the fighters or the media, the official media, to further push that narrative of some type of conflict that's bigger than what it is between two men fighting. You see what I'm saying? So it's just crazy, man. Why would Devin play the bad guy? He's a nice guy. No reason to hate on him. Secret dance move. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I kind of disagree with that. I'm not a big Devin Haney fan. Secret dance move, but like I said, I'm a fan of the sport, man, and I don't care who's getting cheated. Nobody should be cheated. I don't care if it's Conor Ben. Like, I never seen so many people get behind a cheater and act like it was the victim's fault. Like with Conor Ben, people called him a cheater. No one defended him. With Alicia Baumgartner, Canelo, but Alicia Baumgartner and Canelo are different because they appealed it, right? They took it to court and proved their innocence, or proved not their innocence, but they proved that it was accidental, and that's cool. No one got behind Julio Cesar Martinez. No one got behind Alexander Povetkin. All these people are being accused of cheating, and no one blaming the fighters. You know, I just don't get it, man. Shout out to my boy Candy Slim, man. Did Devs broke Spike those supplements Ryan sent in? He said, did Devs bro Spike those supplements Ryan sent in? Man, stop it, Candy Slim. We got Candy Slim, man, reading up on that membership, man, for 2 months, man. He renewed his subscription to the membership, man. Shout out to you, man. Big 2 months. I appreciate it. My boy said he's signing on for at least 30 more days. He not going nowhere, baby.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on.
My boy said, I'm not leaving, man. He committed to another 30 days, man. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate that, bro. Shout out to MAW dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. MAW with the $5, man. Thank you so much, my brother. He said, hello, DBT in chat. Hello, my brother. God bless you. Congratulations. Keeps one time, Thurman. Yeah, congratulations. Still got it, champ. Well, I don't know if he still got it, but hey, it's better that he won than he lost, you know. Called out Jermel, but Tim Zoo likely next. Bill kept it 100. Bill kept it a thou wow. Yes, sir. Yeah, Tim Zoo should be next as long as Tim Zoo beats Joey Spencer, you know, but we'll see how it goes, man. He called out Errol Spence, Jermel Charlie. He called out quite a few people, but I think Tim Zoo makes the most sense. So the fans boo at Devs gives you an unbiased journalist the right to mistreat him, shows you where that guy was coming from. Hey, that's my point, Candy Slim. That's what I'm saying. So fans being terrible gives you a right to treat him unfair. Thank you, bro. You just articulated everything I was thinking. And you just come on, man. You just summarized it right there, bro. Very concise. I'm gonna read that again. So the fans booing Devin gives you an unbiased journalist, quotation marks, the right to mistreat him. Shows you where that guy was coming from. Exactly. Like I said, I'm not saying you can't like dislike Devin Haney. So I disagree with Secret Dance Moves to a certain extent, because I'm not a big fan of Devin Haney, but I don't dislike him outside of the confines of boxing. Reason why I never really cared for Devin Haney is because I always felt like he was a bit overrated. I thought that he was very strategic in how he navigated through the boxing terrain, and that's okay, but I just feel like he took advantage of certain situations, which is smart. I would never knock accomplishments, but I gotta say how I honestly feel too. I feel like he fought guys that he was bigger than, younger than, stronger than, and he only fought guys in certain situations that it was a slim to none chance that he was going to lose, you know, and there's always a chance you're going to lose, but that's just how I feel. That's how I view Devin Haney. I always saw him as a manufactured champion. Like, and I think Ryan Garcia was a miscalculation. I think he only fought Ryan Garcia because Tank fought Ryan Garcia and he saw Ryan Garcia as easy money. That's what I think. But still, I cannot take away his accomplishments. He's still the youngest undisputed. He's still a good fighter. I would never say he's not a good fighter for beating Kambosos, Lomachenko, and other guys. But I always thought that he was kind of overhyped a bit. But I would never say he's not a good fighter. But the part I do agree with Secret Dance Move is that how can you dislike? A lot of people dislike Devin Haney because of what transpired with Ryan Garcia. To me, that's crazy. My bad. Trying not to be sick. But yeah, to me, that's crazy. Like, dang, my throat dry. Hold on. To me, that's crazy. Like, the way Chris managed the Sergio, it's so funny that Sergio Moro was like, "Oh yeah, man, you know, we want to see about his chin." And I never thought Devin Haney had too much of a chin, you know, because I saw with Jorge Linares how Jorge Linares chin checked him and had him stumbling. An older Jorge Linares who's not known for his power. I saw how Lomachenko, I want to say wobbled him, but kind of, you know, I'm saying straightened him up a little bit, you know, got him right. So I always doubted his chin, and that's why I put money on Ryan Garcia. But a lot of these people that are doubting Devin Haney, they also thought Devin Haney was going to beat Ryan Garcia. You see what I'm saying? So how can you ignore the fact that the guy he fought was on PEDs or anything that was unbecoming of a fighter, because you're so quick to point out other fighters on PEDs, but why now you ignore it? Excuse me. Like, I don't think people realize that Devin Haney was the favorite against Ryan Garcia. People would forget that. So a lot of people that are excited about what happened and talking trash about what happened, you didn't even believe that Ryan Garcia was going to beat Devin Haney. So you didn't think he was, you don't actually even believe that he was as trash as you think he is now. Hindsight's 2020. Like I said, I put money on Ryan Garcia, but I didn't think it was going to go like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that was crazy. But, you know, but at least I believe that Ryan Garcia could beat him to the point where I was convinced enough to put my own money on it. Not too many people put money on Ryan Garcia. Also, let's not forget the disgusting racism he said about the black people in Georgia. Yeah, facts. And not to mention that, you could, yeah, I don't like Ryan Garcia. I liked him before. The reason why I like Ryan Garcia is because I thought of Ryan Garcia. I was like, dang, man, Ryan Garcia is dope because I don't really care about lose. I don't want fighters to lose, of course. But I like Tank. But I didn't really knock Ryan Garcia for losing a Tank. I was like, dang, he wants to fight Tank. That's dope. A lot of fighters don't want to fight Tank, and these guys don't want to fight each other. That's why I liked Ryan Garcia. You can ask anybody that was in the stream before the cheating stuff came out, and before all of his the racist slurs that he said about blacks and Muslims, and talking about reviving George Floyd to kill him again. Very disrespectful and nasty and disgusting things that he said. I liked Ryan Garcia, but I liked him because he was down to fight Tank. He was down to fight Devin Haney. He said he would fight Shakur, and you have to believe him because that's what he demonstrated. But now I know why, because you're on PED, so of course you would fight anybody. Hell, you you damn roid raging. You feel me? And then not to mention the nasty stuff that he said about people, bro. I don't rock with any races. You can ask anybody. Ask my boy Tech. Tech is me and Tech don't. Tech is my brother from another. You know what I'm saying? A brother from another mother, meaning that we don't share the same genes or bloodline, and we don't even share the same complexion. But if someone comes in here and talks trash about my guy, and they say something about his complexion, I'm kicking you out of here, bro. I don't tolerate that mess. I don't tolerate. I'm not just like oh, it has to be directed towards me or somebody that looks like me for me to be offended. I feel like good people should stick together regardless. You know what I'm saying? Whether you male, female, Christian, atheist, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Someone comes in here and says something nasty about my Hispanic brother and sister, my Asian brother and sister, my black brother and sister, my white brother and sister, my sisters. I'm gonna kick you out of here. I don't tolerate that mess. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's what's wrong with people. We lack empathy. We lack empathy, bro. You know, you don't know how to be empathetic. Like, you don't have to be able to. You shouldn't have to be directly offended by impacted by something to be offended or understand why somebody gets offended. So and that's a fact. And tell me if I'm lying, anybody in the chat. So yeah, Chris Madness is trash. Sergio Moore is trash, and that guy is trash. I'm not gonna lie, they should be like, I don't know what we could do, but we need to like I might start a petition or something to get some of these trash commentators off, these ridiculously biased commentators removed from sports broadcasting, man, because you're not fair. You're painting people as something that they're not. I'm not saying you can't root for Ryan Garcia. Do whatever you feels right for you, but don't make things up and make it seem like one guy did something wrong when it was clearly not that way. Whether you like Ryan Garcia or you like Devin Haney, you don't have to like him to be objective, have enough objectivity to say that, oh, one guy was cheated. Duh. I mean, Keyshawn Davis and Nahir Albright got turned into a no contest because Keyshawn Davis was high off of weed. No one's mad about that. So why are you mad about Ryan Garcia result getting turned to a no contest and he was on PEDs? No one's mad about Alexander Povetkin. Do you know Alexander Povetkin was on the same Austrian and he has 10 years of his wins wiped clean? Do you know that? You don't know that though, because he doesn't come with clicks, so no one's talking about it. Alexander Povetkin got caught cheating after an intensive investigation that spanned the last decade. All of his wins for the last 10 years have been wiped clean because he was on one of the substances that he was on was Austrian, same Austrian that Ryan Garcia was on. Amir Khan lost to Kell Brook, and he still got 2 years for being on the same Austrian that Ryan Garcia was on. Where's the brigade calling for the conspiracy with them? Amir Khan got banned for 2 years. He got banned so long that he retired. He said, "Nah, I'm not waiting for this. I'm not serving this suspension. I'm gonna retire." Facts. But we're mad. We're saying that somehow Ryan Garcia is getting treated unfairly. He got the least punishment, but he's been treated unfairly. He's been treated ridiculously fairly, unnaturally fairly, unfairly fairly. So it's crazy, bro. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of Haney, but I'm a fan of the sport, and I think that cheating should not be tolerated in the sport at all, and it should be handled as such. You should never mention Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney without mentioning the cheating part, because that's not telling the whole story. It's like when I talk about Canelo losing to Bivol, I never mentioned that loss without mentioning the fact that Canelo was moving up because he was challenging himself. I mean, you got to tell the whole story, bro. You can't just tell a little part. You know what I'm saying? Last time somebody came in overweight, John Rio Casimiro came in overweight against Saul Sanchez in Japan. He got banned for a year for coming in overweight by 1 pound. He fought Saul Sanchez at 122. John Rio Casimiro came in at 123 and a quarter. He got banned for a year by the JBC. Respect to the JBC, because they don't tolerate that. It's only in America, bro. You notice that all the other examples where they take PED seriously and people that don't abide by the rules and fighters that demonstrate a lack of professionalism and don't adhere to the rules, none of them were America. None of them were American. Japan banned John Rio Casimiro for a year for coming in 1 pound overweight. Ryan Garcia came in 3 pounds overweight, and he was on PEDs. Louis Neary got banned indefinitely when he came in overweight and was on PEDs against Yamanaka. That's why they allowed him to come back, just so Naoya Inoue could put the beats on him. Conor Benn got what, 1.5 years or 2 years. He still ain't fighting England yet because he cheated by the British Boxing Board of Control and whoever else is in charge over there in England across the pond. But that was in England. Alexander Povetkin, another foreigner, as far as he's not American, right? He just got suspended for 14 years in total. 10 years of all of his bouts that he won, wiped clean, and then 4 years he got suspended for. So a total of 4 years from now, he cannot box again. Up until 4 years from now. So a total of 14 years of punishment. But we're mad that Ryan Garcia got a settlement and was out for a year. Fuck out of here. And he only fights 1 time a year anyway. Fuck out of here, bro. Y'all are good. It's clown shit, man. Clown shit. But anyway, shout out to Bill Haney, man. I love that fact that he went off on DAZN. The fact that he I love the fact that he didn't get racial. I love the fact that he didn't get disrespectful. Fans are going to be fans, you know, so whatever the reasons they have, you cannot judge your reactions and your coverage based off the fans. So shout out to Bill Haney. I thought he fielded that question very well. He didn't say anything out of bounds. And like I said, there's good people of all shapes, sizes, and colorations, you know what I'm saying, and genders. But how they treated Devin Haney on that stage was poor. And even in the first press conference, but the second press conference, they even went further. So fuck Todd Grissom, I think is the name. Fuck Chris Mannix and fuck Sergio Mora as boxing analysts, commentators, and pundits. I'm gonna be honest, bro, because not one of them mentioned the PEDs like it's a problem. You would think it's a good thing. You would think that Devin Haney's making up an excuse, like he's saying, "Oh, I had something on my back." I had on a costume that made my legs weak. Like he said some stupid excuse like Deontay Wilder or something. He didn't make an excuse. That was the powers that be, the administrative bodies, found Ryan Garcia guilty of having PEDs in the system. So I never seen anybody blame Triple G for Canelo testing positive for clenbuterol. Never seen it. I believe he was also a pound overweight. Daigo Higa got suspended by the JBC. Talk to him, Oscar. Shout out to the JBC, man, Japan Boxing Commission. Shout out to all the boxing commissions that actually do the right thing and adhere to the integrity of the sport and don't worry about your like count or your follow count or how popular you are. Do the right thing, bro. Do the right thing, bro. He should have got suspended for more, bro. So shout out to Bill Haney for handling that like a pure gentleman. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him, man. All right, speaking of DAZN and Bill Haney getting disrespected, Oscar feels disrespected. We need Jim Lampley, Roy Jones Jr., Max Kellerman, all of them to do all the fights. Hell, Larry Merchant too. And I don't think Larry Merchant would play that either. And I don't even like Larry Merchant, but I think Larry Merchant would have told the truth on that. You know what I'm saying? So yes, man. So that, in my honest opinion, I think Devin was a bit too high off that Regis win, underestimating Ryan because of his weird. I agree. I agree. MAW. All that exists. I agree that Ryan Garcia was underestimated. Hell, this is why I said this and I still say this. Devin Haney, when he was talking about, oh, I don't think Ryan Garcia is taking this seriously. Who cares? And that's my point about Devin Haney. That's why I never really cared for him. I feel like it was manufactured. As a consummate professional, you should be in tune with who you are. Who cares if Ryan Garcia is not focused? That should be a good thing for you. I don't care if he's not focused. I don't care if he's injured. No disrespect. I'm not saying that I want to have an advantage, but I'm focused on me. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. That's why Floyd is who he is. That's why Canelo is who he is. That's why Clarissa Shields is who she is. That's why Katie Taylor is who she is. That's why the Usyk is who he is. Naoya Inoue is who he is. Terrence Crawford is who he is. When you're the best because you try to be the best that you can be. You don't care what kind of shape your opponent is in. To me, I agree with you 1,000%. He was way too comfortable and underestimated Ryan Garcia. However, the part that I don't care about is the fact that has nothing to do with the guy cheating. Could Devin Haney have blocked the left hook like everybody says? Yes, of course he could have. Could he have not cared about how focused or unfocused Ryan Garcia was? Of course he could have. None of that changes the fact that the man was on PEDs. Every time we say things like that, it's like we're making excuses to dismiss. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that's by default, that's what we're doing. We're dismissing the fact that the impact of or the presence of PEDs. Just like when we say, oh, that's why you don't hear me say, oh, Israel Madrimov had bronchitis. I don't care. He was in the ring. He thought that he could beat Virgil Ortiz with bronchitis, and he was wrong. So if I say, oh, Israel Madrimov was sick, then that's by default, whether I intend to or not, that's taking away credit for Virgil Ortiz's performance. So every time you say, oh, well, you know, Devin Haney should have did this, could have did this, would have did this, we're diminishing the fact that Ryan Garcia was on PEDs. And that takes precedence because you could get to squat. You shouldn't be able to compete with that. It's illegal. So I don't care about nothing else. But I do agree with you that he did take him lightly. But yeah, let's go to Devin Haney, Oscar De La Hoya. Talk about someone else that feels offended. Oscar De La Hoya feels offended by Big Turk and Dana White's partnership. And I just wanted to be very clear. I want y'all to remember, I said this would happen. Remember I said this, chat? Remember I said that Oscar De La Hoya is going to be offended? Because I really watch boxing, chat. Oscar De La Hoya came out in the interview and he was like, yeah, I feel offended. He said, yeah, I feel like that was a shot at me. He said, I feel disrespected because, you know, when they say, oh, they need to make boxing great, he's like, I'm a promoter. I've been doing this. And I want to tell you the reason why I knew Oscar was going to get offended, because if you remember, Oscar was opposed to Turki Al-Sheikh initially until Turki Al-Sheikh started breaking them off with that change. You know what I'm talking about? And he might be doing something strange for that little piece of change. You know what I'm talking about? Getting his thigh meat rubbed on. Hey, before that, Oscar De La Hoya said what? Oscar De La Hoya said, hey, no foreign promoter's gonna come and outshine me in America when it comes to boxing. That's what Oscar De La Hoya said. And he said, oh, I was talking about Eddie Hearn. No, the fuck you weren't. Eddie Hearn's been there. You were talking about Turki Al-Sheikh. But now they're in cahoots and that was cool, right? Everything's good now because you get broke off. But now when he's working with his rival, Dana White, and he's giving Dana White all this credit, saying, oh, Dana White's going to be a trailblazer for the sport, a bulldozer, verbatim is what he said, for the sport, if I quote him, that he's going to change the landscape of boxing, he's going to save boxing. Oscar De La Hoya is offended now. And I'm with Oscar De La Hoya. I'm not opposed to Oscar De La Hoya. Even though I was right and I said this will happen, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that in a good way. Oscar De La Hoya should be offended. Al Heyman should be offended. Eddie Hearn should be offended. Frank Warren should be offended. Ben Shalom should be offended. What's her name? Kathy Duva, the one for main events. She should be offended. Every promoter and promotion company should be offended. Don King, Bob Arum, and Top Rank should be offended. Don King and Trilla Entertainment, they should all be offended. Because it's making it seem like y'all ain't doing nothing. And y'all ain't good enough to keep the sport afloat. So absolutely they should be offended. And this, to me, this is good. I'm not saying it's good like, oh, I want Dana White and Turkey to get to avenge. I'm not saying it's good because I want the Avengers to assemble and go against Turk and Dana White like they're Thanos. But I think it's good because this should put a fire under you, and you should feel offended that you're being disrespected and acknowledge that you're being disrespected, because this is going to build up competition, baby. They was getting a little bit too comfortable these last 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Al Heyman and PBC for still making their own events, but there hasn't been too many events, big events, that it's been Matchroom and Eddie Hearn on their own, or Golden Boy and Oscar on their own. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to PBC and Al Heyman and even Top Rank and Bob Arum. They've been doing some of their own ventures, but they're getting a little bit too comfortable. So that little discomfort is going to spark a fire in them for them to work together. And I do think that they should recognize that him bringing in Dana White, that is disrespectful. It is just, it's saying that he thinks somebody that's not even in boxing, who couldn't make their way into boxing without Big Turk. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. Dana White's only in boxing because Big Turk is facilitating that as well. It's not because Dana White's some super successful, uber successful UFC owner, which he is successful. But I'm saying it's not like his success is so overwhelmingly true that is branching over and spilling over into boxing. No, he would not have been able to enter boxing without the help of Big Turk. Let's be very clear on that. So Big Turk has facilitated all these 5v5 events and all these unprecedented, trailblazing, undisputed matchups that couldn't have happened without him. Dana White being involved in boxing couldn't happen without Big Turk either. So let's be very clear on that. So all these collaborations and all these boosts and people working together is because of Big Turk. Same with Dana White. So the fact Dana White's verbiage saying that, oh yeah, boxing is dead and boxing needs to be torn down and built back up from the ground up, it's absolutely disrespectful. But that doesn't mean that Dana White's lying either. I think that Dana White hopefully will transform boxing into a better landscape than what it is. But I personally don't believe that the UFC business model will work in boxing because there's too many moving parts unless they're going to plan on taking over everything from the sanctioning bodies to the commissions to everything. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is that this league is really more so of a promotion company than it is a league. This TKO Promotions, I think is more of a promotional company than a league. And they're going to have their own belts and their own promotional company, therefore adding another ingredient to the already complicated mixture that we call boxing. So I think it's just going to be another entity that we're going to have to keep up with. That's what I think, but I could be wrong, you know, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing, but I just love the fact that I'm right again, because Eddie Hearn said that the same thing I said when people said I was crazy. Eddie Hearn said the same thing, and now Oscar De La Hoya is coming out and saying the same thing like I said he would. It's just crazy, bro, because, you know, we actually pay attention to boxing. We don't go off our emotions around here. We actually speak the truth, you feel me? You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, shout out to Oscar though. But in my opinion, I don't feel bad for any of them. You know, they just got to work together, and maybe this will spark Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy to work more alongside Al Heyman and PBC, and spark Al Heyman and PBC to work more so alongside Frank Warren and Queensberry and Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and Bob Arum and Top Rank, and maybe we'll get better boxing. You know, and Ben Shalom and Boxer and hell, even Jake Paul at MVP. And Don King and Trilla, whatever, you know, maybe they'll all work together and we'll get better boxing. You never know what'll happen, you know. So when people are backs against the wall, they might do things that's unprecedented, and we may get more collaborations than we ever saw before, you know. So it might be good, you know. All this might be good. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm ready and willing to see how it plays out, but let's not act like all this stuff is necessarily bad, but let's not act like it's necessarily good either. He said, even the guy from Guadalajara that Matias last beat was tough as hell. Got respect off. Yeah, you talk about Gabriel Golas Valenzuela. Facts, pugilism. A lot of people don't know that, though. You know, you would think the Subaru Matias fans would know that, but yeah. They stopped watching them. Manny K.O. Barbarquez loses to Jeff Hoare, beats Keith Thurman. Yep. Turk and Data said F Pro Box TV and Paulie. Talk to him. I respect Matias for what he can do in the ring, but there's a style that beats slow-footed fighters. Yep. And that is a pure boxer with good footwork and endurance. Matias does not have a full two-bag. I agree. So yeah, man. So I think that with boxing, man, we just gotta just be patient sometimes, but also gotta make sure we tell the truth, man. And if we recognize whether you're a content creator on YouTube or you're a pugilist enthusiast that's employed as an analyst for DAZN, I think that we should hold these people accountable, not just the judges when they mess up or the refs when they mess up, but also the moderators and the commentators and the analysts that mess up too. When they push a false narrative, man, hold everybody accountable and responsible for their actions. I think boxing will get cleaned up. So those goofies that say stupid stuff and make these false ass conspiracy theories, stop watching them. You know what I'm saying? Come to the real. You feel me? It is what it is. I'm not saying don't have an opinion about a fight, but don't make up no nonsense, man. What is everybody's opinion on if Turkey and new TKO boxing is looking to discredit and possibly crush the 64 major sanctioning bodies? Hey, I mean, hey, that's cool with me. If they could do it, I don't know. Will they be able to do it? I don't know. Shoot, my bad, chat. If they could do it, I don't know. If a man lies. I don't know, man. If that's really their plan, I don't know if that's really their plan. I think people are jumping the gun a little bit. Dana White said he's not going to work with them. He said he's sure. If you watch the interviews and stuff like that, Dana White said that he's not going to work with the IBF, the WBA, WBC, and WBO. He said he's sure that they will exist. They just won't work with him. So maybe his plan is to crush and take over. We'll see how it goes, man. I'm not really too concerned, to be honest. We'll see how it goes. I think that they will still exist. But of course, Big Turk is a threat. I mean, Dana White is a threat to their existence, especially when he's already isolating them and saying that he's not going to work with them. So, but is that necessarily a bad thing? I mean, sometimes the sanctioned bodies, let's be real, they're not always good. There's some good things about the sanctioned bodies, yes, with the sanctioned bodies, given exposure to other fighters, you know, that may not have the backing or may be from certain regions that aren't covered as much. But at the same time, there's some negative with them too, like calling some mandatories that don't really make sense, or making fighters abide by certain rules that aren't exactly beneficial of the sport or intriguing matchups, you know, like calling Michael Efer versus Artur Beterbiev. Not saying he doesn't deserve it. He's ranked number 1. But it's not really an intriguing matchup. But then not only that, sometimes, you know, rankings are bought, you know, especially it seems like it's bought more recently in the WBC more than any of the other sanctioning bodies, but rankings are purchased, and then it just diminishes the integrity of the sport too. So they're not perfect either. So I think that competition always breeds a better product, you know what I'm saying? So from that standpoint alone, the more competition is better. But then at the same time, we complain about it being complicated already. So at least in the imminent future, while they're getting off the ground and while they're building, there's going to be more complicated, more complications to the sport. Now, eventually, could they take over like 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Maybe. And they'll probably take over the whole thing, but we'll see, man. You know, we'll see if what the promoters do to counteract that. What's good, Smoochie? Personally, I like the 4 existing sanctioned bodies. The difficulty of unifying the 4 majors to achieve undisputed gives relevance to who is actually the best. Yeah, I agree. I like it too, but at the same time as well, sometimes the sanctioned bodies are roadblocks to unifications and undisputed matchups as well. You know, I do think it looks cool, but at the same time, man, if the IBO could be a 5th sanctioned body, that's a whole lot of belts, man. And then you gotta remember that a lot of people will have. Okay, so my point is this: it's not a coincidence that there's less undisputed defenses now, right? Like what Naya Inoue is doing is kind of rare, but it's kind of skewed too, right? Like some fighters like Usyk never had an opportunity to defend his undisputeds like that. Same with Terrence Crawford, right? Because they will call mandatories that aren't really lucrative, you know, from a financial standpoint. And as much as people don't like to hear this part of boxing, boxing is a sport, and if it's a sport, it's a business. If it's a professional sport, excuse me, it's a business. And the business side is that people want to work to make money. That's their job. So they want to maximize their dollar and their efforts. So if Beterbiev doesn't fight Michael Efer and he'd rather fight Bivol, that's a better fight for us. It's more lucrative. So, but he will get penalized for that, and rightfully so, because Michael Efer deserves a title shot. So it is what it is. Like when Terrence Crawford's forced to fight his mandatory and he decides to go and fight Canelo or a more lucrative matchup, then they get penalized for that. But the reason why Naya Inoue is in a unique position is because people don't pay attention to the smaller weights. So that's why he's allowed to have more successful defenses of undisputed. But guys like Terrence Crawford, Alexander Usyk, Canelo, they can't, because people are paying attention more, and the sanctioned bodies want more movement at those higher weights. They don't really care as much because it's not as lucrative at the lower weights. It's just basic economics, man. You know what's good, Dark Kent? He said, man, did you catch the Thurman fight? No, man, my internet was messed up, man. I was mad about that. But yeah, we talked about it already though. It was a three round beat down. So it is what it is, man. Shout out to Keith Thurman for beating Brock Jarvis. I mean, I don't know how impressive it is, but it's only his second fight in 5 years. So that alone is impressive. Shout out to him. And he's 36, 37. So shout out to Keith Thurman. But yeah. But yeah, man, that's it, man. We just gotta we'll see how we just gotta be patient to see how it plays out, man. He said, all I know is that Boxing World was calling him the boogeyman, then got beat by Paul, who was a good fighter. Yep, but nowhere near elite. I agree. You don't have to be elite to beat Matias by no means. Facts. TKO and all sanctioned bodies can still coexist. I agree. Not every fighter from small or large market will use the TKO platform climbing up. I agree. But we'll see. But it'll still further fragment a already fragmented entity, you know, which is boxing. So it's just further an additional fragmentation. So I don't think it's bad, but criticism of the IBF is unwarranted in my honest opinion, because fighters pay fees to get a shot. I agree. And IBF honors a mandate to the ball. I agree. That's why, yeah, shout out to President Daryl Peoples. I think that IBF is the best. However, I do understand the criticism too, because sometimes you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Like the rematch for Usyk and Tyson Fury should have been undisputed, man. And it wasn't because they called mandatory, but they learned their lesson and they let Beterbiev and Bivol be undisputed rematch, right? They could have forced it to not be undisputed by pushing forward the Michael Efer mandatory, but they learned, you know? So, I mean, it is what it is, but I do think that when you are ranked, like MJ Akhmadaliev is, then you should be able to get the benefits of your ranking. Now let's move on, man, to Lamont Roach, man. Lamont Roach, I think Lamont Roach is a stand-up dude, man. It's a final topic of our NTB today, our NTB episode. Lamont Roach, man, I think he's a stand-up dude because he was talking about being in the pound for pound. He said, hey, man, I'm a pound for pound talent, man. My performance against Tank proved that. You know, say whether y'all like me or not, whether y'all acknowledge me or not, I'm a pound for pound talent, baby. But he said that it did not diminish or discredit Tank at all. He said, no, I'm a pound for pound talent, and I proved that because I performed well against a generational talent in Gervonta Tank Davis. Why can't more people do that, man? Shout out to Lamont Roach, man. The Slim Reaper, not the Slim Reaper. What they call him, the Grim Reaper. I call him Slim Reaper like he's Kevin Durant. But yeah, I think that he's given Tank his credit. But a lot of people who aren't boxers, they really have no excuse. They're like, oh, Tank got exposed. All of a sudden now, the same people that said that Lamont Roach didn't have a chance against Tank, they're saying, oh, Tank doesn't have enough in his toolbox to beat Lamont Roach, or Tank got exposed because the first time he fought a good fighter, he doesn't look good. I thought y'all just told me Roach is bad. Now all of a sudden he's a good fighter. Shout out to Roach though, man. You know, I knew it was gonna be competitive. I didn't think it was gonna be that competitive, but I thought Tank would win. I just thought that he would stop him in the late rounds. But I said ninth round or 10th round. But I thought Lamont Roach would definitely put on a good fight, and he did, man. He exceeded my expectations. And shout out to Lamont Roach, man. Like I say, he's a very stand-up dude. I see nothing wrong with him going to appeal the decision. He was definitely done an injustice with those missed calls, and he appealed it. He used the resources available to him to try to right a wrong. Check the injustice or rectify the injustice that was served to him by way of a blunder by the referee, multiple blunders. So it's not Tank's fault that the referee missed calls, and it's not Lamont Roach's fault that he was done dirty. He was a victim of bad calls. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. I don't think he done anything wrong. He speaks. He handles himself with grace. He speaks in regards to Tank. Regarding Tank, very complimentary in fashion. He's just confident in himself, and I would love to see the rematch. It seems like the rematch is going to happen, man. So you know, he's wanted the rematch. He said in the build-up that there was going to be a rematch from out the gate, so he manifested it, and he worked hard, and has everything he deserves, man. I don't see how people are disliking Lamont Roach. I don't think he's done anything wrong, man. He hasn't talked trash about Tank. He hasn't disrespected Gervonta or the sport of boxing, and yeah, he just, to me, I don't see what there is to critique in a negative fashion on Lamont Roach, man. Shout out to Lamont Roach, man. He said, I love Roach. His defense is smooth. Yeah, his defense was smooth, and, you know, he proved a lot of people wrong, you know. And I love the fact that he called out those goofballs that said that he would lose in 2 rounds, or that he was going to get shitted on, and he didn't belong in the same ring as Gervonta Tank Davis. I love the fact that he said, hey, man, I don't want y'all compliments now because they're not real. You know, shout out to him for that too, man. So Roach deserves his full facts. He deserves his full props. He won, in my honest opinion, deserves his credit. Love to see Tank rematch or versus Shakur next. Yeah, I want to see that. I think Tank owes him a rematch. I think Lamont Roach, the sanctioning bodies, the commissions, everything, they owe Lamont Roach a rematch. You know, Tank does as well. You know, the referee does as well. Everybody, the fans do as well. So, yeah, I think Lamont Roach is definitely his stock should go up, just like Isaac Pitbull Cruz's stock went up when he survived against Tank. He didn't lose against Tank, and his stock went up. Lamont Roach's stock should go up as well. You know, and shout out to Isaac Pitbull Cruz as well. You know what I'm saying? He was he handled his loss with grace as well. You know, so I always like fighters that do that. And even though Lamont Roach was a draw, he didn't lose. I actually thought Tank won by my scorecard. But that's not including the knockdown. And if you include the knockdown, then it would have been a draw. That's why I don't think it was too much of a robbery, the outcome of the fight, because on my scorecard, I had Tank winning. And if I would have gave that knockdown, which should have been a knockdown to him, then that would have turned my scorecard to a draw for 8-4 to 7-5 in favor of Tank. But you include the 10-8 round, it would have been 114-114 on my scorecard. So shout out to. But if you call that I actually thought that Tank won that round, even with the Neo. So you call it 9-9, then Tank still would have won on my scorecard. So I'm not mad at anybody that had Lamont Roach winning. Hey, man. Hey, Lamont Roach did his thing, man. He deserves all the credit. So shout out to Lamont Roach. I just want to salute him for being a stand-up dude, man. Despite, you know, because social media makes it hard, and all these goofies make it hard to be a stand-up dude these days. You know what I'm saying? So salute to all the real ones. And Lamont Roach definitely is a real one. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, hopefully we get this rematch, man. Hopefully we get this rematch, and hopefully Tank is locked in. And I do think that Tank wins the rematch. But, hey, Lamont Roach gonna have people watching for show and see what he could do. Can you see T.O.? I'm gonna open up the Discord. Anybody wants to join the panel, man? We are done for the NTB topics for the day. Shout out to y'all, man. We got all 6 topics out the way. Now we can open up the Discord for anybody who wants to pull up. You know what I'm saying? We got this boxing conversation. We can keep carrying on. You feel me? Let's get it, man. He said, can you see Tio looking explosive like Kagai. Oh, like from the gate versus Barbosa, and then slow down like Kagai did against Joet Gonzalez. Barbosa's capable of pulling off the. Yeah, I think Arnold Barbosa can pull off the win. Like I said, I'm rooting for him. But I don't know, man. Like I said, the way I look at it, pugilism is Teofimo at his peak, hypothetically, and then Arnold Barbosa at his peak, hypothetically. If they both come in at their peaks, I think Teofimo's ceiling is higher. I think his peak is better than Barbosa. So that's why I think Teofimo's gonna win. But I don't rock with Teofimo. I'm rooting for Barbosa. But yeah, shout out to Joet Gonzalez for he looked good against Arnold Kagai, didn't he? That was on the Pro Box fight. Yeah, so shout out to him. Shout out to him. He said even Joet Gonzalez was impressive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was good. Said Make a Wish. I don't know what you're talking about. Make a Wish. Did I sneeze? Thank you. Excuse me. I don't know if I sneezed. Make a wish. Peace and prosperity for all. Not knocking Matias' career, and it's not over. He's just not what he was made out to be. But Power was a huge underdog. I think Matias can come back. I don't know if he'll be a champion again, but I like Matias still. But I'm with you, Tech. Oh, it was 11-11. Dang it! I love 11-11. I always gotta make a wish on 11-11. Yeah. My bad, Chad. And spitting a napkin, man. That's what was itching my throat. All right, we good now. But yeah, man. So I think Matias is still going to be. I think Matias still has a lot of worth. But I do agree with Tech as far as him getting back on top as being a champion. I don't know. But I could see him beating like a Richardson Hitchens though. I could see him beating Richardson Hitchens. I could see him beating a Richardson Hitchens who's a champion right now. I mean, I think that's a good fight. I would lean towards Hitchens right now, but I don't know. That's a good fight, man. I could see him possibly beating Richardson Hitchens. I could see him possibly beating Gary Antoine Russell. I always thought that would have been a good fight. I could see him. So I could see him beating some champions. Do I think he beats Teofimo? Actually, man, bro, I take that back. I could see him becoming a champion again, bro. I think, bro, 140 is nice, bro. 140 has a lot of depth and a lot of parity, man. I could see him beating Alberto Puello. I could see him beating Richardson Hitchens. I could see him beating Gary Antoine Russell. I could see him beating Teofimo. Now, when I say I could see him beating them, I'm not saying that he beats them for sure. But I think those are good fights. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think those are 50-50 fights. You know. So, I don't know. I might disagree, Tech, a little bit, man. I don't know, bro. I might disagree a little bit. Like, at first, I thought I agreed with you, but I don't know. I got Matias beating most of the Fatal Fury card. Facts. Matias. I got Matias. If Matias and Barbosa were fighting, I would have Matias. If Matias and Tio, actually, I'll lean towards Tio slightly. Matias and Devin Haney. Ooh, that's a tough fight. I would probably lean towards Matias. Matias and Ramirez, I would lean towards Matias. Matias and Rolly, I'll lean towards Matias. Matias and Ryan Garcia. Depends on what weight class. But I would lean towards Matias. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you. Styles make fights. Hitchens can't keep Matias off. He's yeah, facts. I got Hitchens by decision. And Russell, after his last win, right in his confidence, I'll box him too. That's a fact. But I always said that Gary Antoine Russell, I thought Gary Antoine Russell beats Matias. But that's a close fight, man. I always thought that Gary Antoine Russell has the tools. But like I said, Gary Antoine Russell has mental lapses, man, where sometimes he'll look like an untouchable great fighter, man. Slick, strong, athletic, good boxing acumen. But then sometimes he has mental lapses where he just falls into his amateurish style and just throws punches just to throw punches. It gets reckless. So I think those are good fights, man. I think those are all good fights. So yeah. So we'll see how it goes, man. But yeah, go check out the last video that we dropped, man. Go check out the last video that we dropped. And yeah, man. Check out the last videos that we dropped. And that's it for me, man. Anybody want to pull up on the Discord, feel free to pull up. If you got the link, you should have the link already. You should be locked into the Discord already. So if you ever want to pull up, pull up. Oh, chat. Look at this, chat. Let's see if the conspiracy theorists are gonna come out. Mauricio Lara has tested positive for betamethasone in a UCAD test following his rematch defeat to Leigh Wood in May of 2023. And so he has now been banned from boxing for 2 years, chat. 2 years.
Damn. I'm sorry.
His ban is backdated to the start date of his provisional suspension, and so will expire on March 6, 2026. Oh, so you see that, right? So I wonder if everybody's gonna come out and say, "Oh, you know, PEDs don't matter, right? Because PEDs don't matter, right?" So where's the DAZN? Where's the DAZN? Where's the DAZN, sister? But it's cool. Sister, salute. Yeah, Smoochie is a woman, man. One time for the ladies. I feel like you always call her a bro. I feel like you done did that about 3-4 times, or maybe it's just multiple people that do that to Smoochie. Look at this, chat. This just broke out because we don't care about PE. Why even release this, right? Why release this, right? What's that dummy Todd Grisham? What's that Todd Grisham guy? What's Chris Mannix's name? Or what's his is that him right there? I don't know if that's really him. Is that Chris Mannix's thing? We gonna tag him. Yeah, we gonna call them all out. Well, what's the other guy's name? Todd Grisham or something like that? We calling them out, man. We calling him out, man. S.I. Chris Mannix. S.I. Chris Mannix. What's the other guy? Chat, do y'all remember the other guy, Todd Grisham or something, right? Disgusting, bro. I don't know his name, so. Well, what's Ryan Garcia's joint? Tagging all these bums. He can still compete. He can still compete on what it call. He said they're gonna block it. Yeah, this is old though. I don't think anybody's gonna see it. Yeah. You go tag all of them. Yeah, he can still compete on DAZN. You know, because they don't care about PEDs, right? So he'll be all right. Bums. Hate that shit, bro. Be fair, bro. Be fair in your coverage, man, and be correct, man. Treat people fairly, bro. He got 2 years, chat, but we complained about Ryan Garcia getting a year. He got 2 years. But once again, who did it though, chat? Once again, what did we just talk about, right? Once again, who banned him? Who banned him, chat? Let's see, cause you know. I'm gonna show that I don't be capping, right? Who banned him though, chat? UCAD. United Kingdom Anti-Doping. That's what that is. UCAD is United Kingdom Anti-Doping or whatever it is, right? UK Anti-Doping Organization. If it was America, he would got 2 months. No, he probably wouldn't have got nothing, you know? Because it's a wild, wild west over here. Wait, why sincere apologies? This man dumb came in here shooting people, bro. Why you coming here tossing people out, bro? Shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy Dub. Gave him a 10 count. Dang. Big member in the building. What's good, Dub? Brother Dub in the building. He said a flash knockdown for calling Smoochie your brother. Hey, yo, that's funny. Shout out to Dub, bro. But yeah, man. So yeah, I just think you just gotta treat people fairly, man. Gotta treat people fairly, bro. And you know. Flash knockdown is crazy. But chat, man, I'm about to go ahead and call it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and that like button. I appreciate all the love that we get, man. Don't forget to check out the last videos, man. Keep us going and growing, and share the channel to everybody that really likes boxing talk, man. If you don't like real boxing talk, bro, you might not want to be over here because you ain't gonna like this channel. You feel me? If you don't like real boxing, if you like that nonsense that they got over there, all these conspiracy theories and all this fake narratives, and these people that have channels that are based on one boxer, that are pro this boxer and anti this boxer, you're not gonna like this channel over here because we love boxing. You know what I'm saying? So yes, later, Smoochie. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all rocking as always. I'm probably gonna drop a video on I was thinking about dropping a video on that Keith Thurman fight, but I don't know, man. I was mad I missed it though, chat. I was definitely mad I missed it, man. Definitely mad I missed it, man. But I appreciate y'all rocking as always, man. Don't forget to smack that like button if you haven't done so already. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Oh shoot, hold on. We got to go through the super chats, man. We gotta go through the super chats. I'm sorry. Hold on. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. We got Young Guns for the $2, Oscar for the $5, Candy Slim, you know what I'm saying, renewing his membership, you know what I'm saying. He's saying he's staying again, committing for 30 more days, man. I appreciate it, my brother. MAW with the $5, man. I appreciate that. Please enjoy those emotes. And if you consider becoming a member, you know what I'm saying, consider becoming a member, you get these fire emotes, you know what I'm talking about. You got the GOAT, you got the GOAT, you got the biscuits, you got the GTD chain, you got the Gypsy King, you got the legend and Manny Pacquiao, you got the face of boxing and Saul Canelo Alvarez, you got the Ayo, the No Diddy, the fake news, all them good stuffs and bonbons, man. So I appreciate y'all rocking as always. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you on the flip side. We'll be back for the late show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, sorry, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do the morning show at 8 a.m., the evening show at 8 p.m. So come through, man. Come through and kick it with us, man. And yeah, man, if you have not become a member, consider becoming a member, man. It really helps us keep going and growing, man. So y'all be easy. The doctor's out. Ooh. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.